It's St. Crispian's Day. For he who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Ne'er he be so vile. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Welcome to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. I'm here with
Stan Morticini. I don't know what the hell that was.
Watson Bradshaw, and I can't breathe.
And I'm obviously Chad Cook. And we're
Grand
here.
Marshal Chad.
Yeah, I don't know where did that come from. That was so unexpected.
It just popped in my head.
That's well, yeah, I can tell that.
Imperial March just happens.
Oh God. Today we're here with a special guest.
A returning guest.
Returning. Ding ding.
Yes.
Hello, Justin Dorris, back at it again.
You may remember him. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. See,
No.
I'm a
Jesus
terrible host.
Christ.
Let me
Oh,
go.
my God.
Let me
You're
lead.
good.
I was letting him go. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
Oh, just looking forward to talking about more nerd stuff today.
Yes.
Justin is a returning guest because he is a big cinephile, and he watches a lot of movies in theaters, specifically, right?
Yes, specifically in theaters. I don't watch a ton
It's
at
just
home.
Justin and Tom Cruise keeping theaters open.
Pretty
at
much,
this point.
yeah. At this point, yeah.
I love popcorn.
There you go. There you go. We were having Justin on from the last time when we had the Oscars Mike Calamity where I forgot to plug in the microphones. That's my mistake. Is it on? Oh shit, it's not.
Oh God.
Oh,
No,
God.
We're good. So welcome back, Justin. Thank you again for being on, and hopefully we're looking forward to talking some movies with you and your opinion on some of the latest stuff that's come out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And so it's been a bit of a busy week for us as far as everybody going out, seeing different movies and going to different events.
Yeah.
Let's start off with some of the major ones that we hit up from this past week, or from 2 weekends ago. A couple of us went to Midsummer Scream.
Yes, we did.
Which is the Halloween convention here that they do in Los Angeles every year at the Long Beach Convention Center. It's probably one of my most favorite events.
It's fantastic.
So good.
And going from last year to this year, just how much it's grown.
Oh, absolutely.
And
it grows every year.
It's getting crazy. I love it,
Yeah.
though. I mean, I love that they set up multiple mazes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the displays and things that people put out to kind of celebrate the spooky season is great.
Did you guys dress up for?
No,
We wanted to, so I went. I got passes for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but pretty much everybody could only go Sunday. I went Saturday. I didn't go Friday because Friday they didn't open until about I think it was 6:30 or something like that.
It's a weird way
yeah.
to. I don't even call that an opening. If
Yeah,
it's
I mean, in the
hours.
past they've opened a little earlier, but the last time I went there that I went that was that early, they didn't have a bunch of stuff set up yet.
Right.
So I was like, I'll just wait till Saturday. So that's what I did. And then, there's vendors. There's it's called the Hall of Shadows, which is like where they have all the mini mazes. All these different companies that do scare mazes come out, and they'll set up like basically something that fits in a garage. So That's the size of the maze, and there's still a long wait time for them. But we got to go into some of them. They're a lot of fun.
Did they at least? I don't know how the heat was. But was their ACs throughout the different mazes?
I mean, they're not in the mazes themselves. So they're the halls themselves, because at the Long Beach Convention Center, they have AC in them, but because there's so many people in there, it didn't seem like it was working that
Sunday
well.
It felt pretty good, but you said
Saturday
the place was
warm,
like twice as many people in there.
Right.
So.
I mean, you couldn't move in some of the, because they have the actual main floor where all the vendors are set up. And so it was hard to navigate through there because there's so many people on Saturday, and it was pretty warm in some areas.
You guys went shirtless, right? Just
Hell
Yeah, that was my Halloween costume.
No.
That's terrifying. Yeah. But yeah, it was
I had
a lot
full
of fun.
Navi paint on. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
very nice.
he was naked too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta keep the realism. You know?
Did you keep your tail to yourself though?
Absolutely.
Good. I'm glad.
What was one of your favorite mazes, Watson?
The one that really stuck out to me was they had a fake Blockbuster set up.
Ah.
So you walk in and they had the front of the store with just wall-to-wall tapes of horror movies. So it was really nice. It was like just the wait line to get into the maze was this real great nostalgia rub of seeing all these old tapes and just like,
Because it was all horror movies, all VHS.
Yeah. And they were legit. Like it was like, it was wall to ceiling. So it was just like,
well, and there were signs that were said, please don't touch the VHS sets. And then these guys were all touching them.
Yeah.
When I went in Saturday, I was like, I'm not touching.
Well, because I was like, they can't be real. Like these can't be the real tapes inside. And
they
were. I was just like,
wow.
no one just stealing these.
Yeah.
Wait,
they weren't stealing; they were renting them.
Renting, exactly.
Was there a fake attendee to?
Yeah, there was a cash register with a fake attendee, and they were actually selling T-shirts for the maze. I actually bought a shirt.
Yeah, it was a nice shirt.
Yeah, I dig it. So, and it was great. Like once you get into the maze, it was like the break room behind the Blockbuster, and like a murder happened, and they had a bunch of it was like blood on the walls and stuff like that. It was kind of fun.
It was like the maze was like the back rooms of the Blockbuster.
Yeah. Okay,
like a break room,
the maze
a kitchen.
Itself wasn't that great, but the experience in total was, I think, really good.
It was really fun because you wind. Yeah, they had the line winding through the rows of cassettes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which was really dope.
Yeah, I dug it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then we went through one that had some mazes have like these inflatable like hallways.
Oh yeah,
where you have to like push through to get to the other side.
Yeah, we went into this hallway and it was completely blacked out, so you couldn't see anywhere where you were going, and like you couldn't see the entryway through this hallway, and you just kind of get pushed through. And it's these two inflatable walls that are like getting closer and closer together as you go through, and you're just like, if you're claustrophobic, it's just the nightmare, and it's completely dark, so you can't see where you're going. You just kind of keep pushing as you get through. It was rad.
It's like a hallway with like these inflatable tubes. It's so much fun. Mm-hmm. And then there was another one. It was when you would. So I went through Saturday, and then I went through it again with you guys on Sunday.
Yeah.
But there was one called Scared in the Dark, and on Saturday I think that they had a little less oversight because it was like the first like full day.
Yeah.
So we went through it. I went through there with my girlfriend, and we went through the Scare in the Dark, and it was literally dark. I couldn't see anything. It was pitch black, and I was literally I had my hands up, and I was feeling my way along the walls, and I couldn't see. And then there'd be like flashes, and there'd be like the scare actor standing there. So it was pretty cool. And then on Sunday when we went through it again, I told you guys like, you can now. It's still dark, but you could see.
Yeah, there's a little bit of light going.
What happened was I think that they were told that you guys can't have there was like a tarp over the maze itself because it's just plywood walls. That's it, with an opening. So I think they had some kind of tarp over it, like a covering, so you really couldn't see. And then we went through it again. It was still dark, but you could make your way around things. I think they were told like you can't have people going in there completely pitch black.
That's a big safety violation.
It's a safety because I couldn't see any. I was feeling my way through the walls with my hands and feet. I was like, I can't. And I was like bumping into shit. It was pitch black. So
but
it was fun. I prefer that.
Yeah, the Twilight Zone maze was great.
That was so dope.
They did a full like Twilight Zone TV show experience,
like old school Twilight
Zone.
Rod Serling.
They had scare characters, but in like black and white makeup and everything.
That's what I was
so it was
about to
like
ask.
walking through like a black and white episode. It was
nice.
great.
Yeah, it was an episode that it's called. I believe it's called Judgment Night.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Judgment Night. It's a. They took it from a Twilight Zone episode where it's like a fascistic society that judges people and
if
judges
you're a productive human or not.
Yeah, that judges them obsolete. And if you're not have some type of benefit to the society, you have to choose your execution. And in this episode, the guy chooses to be killed in his own apartment with a bomb, but he locks himself in there along with the representative of this totalitarian government that judged him obsolete.
Yeah.
And so as the bomb is about to go off, the representative of the government gets scared and runs out. And then he's judged obsolete for being a coward and not showing like the stiff upper lip that this society is supposed to have.
And speaking of Mickey, it's Burgess Meredith in the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so
awesome.
It's great. It's a good episode, and it's kind of it's not one that comes up a lot. Like with
but
everyone knows like the pig face one or like Gremlin on the wing, and they did a little bit of that as well, which was great. They had a little section of plane. Where you
right?
could see
Did you reenact the scene of there's something on the plane?
Oh yes, absolutely. You got to when you walk through. If you're not doing that, get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the only scare that was in there really was the when they had like a scene from the episode was you're in this. The people who are being judged are standing in this huge room with this massive podium, and that's where they were being judged as obsolete. And they had like a mock-up of that, which was really good for the space they had, which is they didn't have a ton of space.
That's true.
So when the judge says you were obsolete, these two scare actors come out from either side of you, and you go obsolete, and so it was great. It was a lot of fun, and it was that I love that maze. It was a long line for that.
Yeah,
and then we didn't. You guys didn't do the mine one, did you?
No, I didn't. No.
Huh. Well, yeah, that one was pretty good. There was a maze with the. It's supposed to be like this gold mine has been, taken over by these supernatural elements, and they have like a staging area for it before you go into the mine, which is really dope. That you actually step into a mine cart, and the thing is moving around, like jostling around, and they had like an LED screen, but it looks supposed to be like a window.
Oh.
So it makes it look like you're going down,
cool.
like you're descending.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people are rocking it or whatever the mechanism they have, but the thing is rocking back and forth like a mine cart. And it's supposed to run into
like the Indiana Jones ride.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a guy and there's an actor in there with you. Who's like, "Hey, welcome aboard to the mine. We're gonna be." And oh my gosh, what's going on?
And then first time.
Yeah, exactly. And then as the you all of a sudden begin to descend and the thing starts rocking like crazy, and then on the LED screen you see you're in a mine and there's some creature walking towards you, and then they let you out of the cart and you got to go through the mine, which is the rest of the maze. I don't know if maybe the actors weren't set up, but we didn't go on Sunday, but we did go on Saturday. I don't know if the actors were taking a break or something because there were no scare actors. It was just kind of like
that's why I like
a cool maze. It was still good.
On Sunday we decided to do all the mazes early. Like as soon as we got in, we went and did all the mazes, which I think is smart because all the actors are still kind of fresh and still ready to scare. I think if you go in the middle of the afternoon, they're kind of like, grr.
Yeah.
When is my smoke break?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, by the way, the episode of that Twilight Zone is called The Obsolete Man.
Oh, well, there
where
you
he's
go.
being judged. Yeah.
The Obsolete Man.
So. No, go ahead.
I from all the mazes you're describing, I think it would be fun if they kind of did like off of an Indiana Jones vibe, but like a Mayan temple and like booby traps of like maybe
they did have an Egyptian temple.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Which again had no scare actors. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like you wouldn't really need the scare actors for this. It would be like maybe they shoot like Nerf darts.
Just air.
Yeah, like compressed air or something.
Compressed air.
Like they do in the ride.
But there would be like a floor panel that flips around and you fall, and there's like a big...
That'd be a little complicated.
That'd be what?
That'd be a little complicated.
I mean...
Like a little liable.
You'd have to sign some waivers.
You have to sign... But there would be a cushion down there for you to drop into, like as a little... And you got to follow the puzzle across the way without falling through, and... Maybe you'll get a little prize, a little golden chocolate nugget,
a little statue.
Yeah, a little
fertility statue.
Possibly an idol.
I like that idea. I like it.
Interesting. You definitely have to sign waivers for that.
I mean, but it'll be this one you have to pay for too.
Okay,
probably
that makes
because
sense.
it's a little pricey.
But then they had some really good panels while we were there. They had panels for Halloween Horror Nights. And Not
Scary Farm did their panel on Saturday, which was, they right now because of the writer's strike and the actor strike. It seems like they can't go into a lot of detail with some of their mazes. So mostly the Not Scary Farm panel was not so much about new mazes, even though every year they tend to release a lot of information about their mazes. This year was mostly focusing on the merchandise for Not Scary Farm, which is still pretty cool. And the guy who's presenting it, who's the merchandise director for Knott's. It was so funny. That guy was like, he's got to be in stand up. He was so funny. He was. I mean, that's got to
be the best job out there,
right? Exactly. Yeah. And he was just like flipping through the merchandise on the screen, and people were losing their minds. So it was a lot of fun. Then we saw the Halloween Horror Nights one, which was on Sunday.
You're right. Even that one, they kind of skirted around because usually, Universal has a lot of the IPs all based on movies and stuff that are out there. They talked a lot about they only talked about several mazes, and they were all classic Universal monster themed,
right?
Or like they were doing Mexican horror themed.
Yeah, so a lot of it was like Mexican horror, Latin American horror legends.
Latin American. Thank you.
Yeah, so because they're somewhere from Colombia.
Yes.
The
designs were amazing.
The design looked really cool.
Those things going to be great.
So they talked about the designs for some of these characters. And so now they're going to design them within the maze, and then like how the engineers are designing these things to look inside the maze. They not a ton of detail about the mazes themselves, but mostly about the outside and what's
a lot of bird themed witches,
right? And the animatronics, how these things are going to work. It looks pretty dope. I'm interested.
Okay. And then they're doing one that's kind of based on the first few Universal horror movies, which was Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera.
That's awesome.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and they're all going to be themed into one scare. I guess it's a scare zone, or so. It's not really a maze.
Yeah, it's a scare zone. Yeah.
So
I think they're doing Bride of Frankenstein scare zone. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was kind of cool to see those kind of. They're like, it's been 100 years. These movies have been out,
right?
And we're going to celebrate like Universal's like monster history, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat.
That's pretty dope to see. Yeah. And then Not Scary Farm. This is their 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, 30th anniversary doing this. So. Now I'm blanking.
I think it was 50.
It's 50, yeah.
Because
it is
50. From the 70s.
Yeah, from the 70s, yeah. Because they were the first scare, like, horror themed park to do.
It's crazy to think 30 years ago is the 90s.
Right, exactly, yeah. That's what kind of messed me up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was like, no, it's 70s, yeah. So this is their 50th anniversary doing this. The first
We
park,
be old.
Yeah. The first park to do a scare event, which is pretty dope, a Halloween event. Justin, do you do any Halloween themed stuff?
I haven't really. I haven't been to Universal Horror Nights or Not.
Do you
Scary
like going?
I mean,
to
you can.
Yeah, you like being scared.
Yeah, there's a lot of people don't like that.
I'd be open to trying it out, but I don't expect that I would. I'd probably
think going with this group and Stan is a good way to start.
It is, dude. Yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome. I already got my tickets for Knott's, so. I haven't gotten them for Halloween Horror Nights, but Knott's for sure. Knott's is the best one.
Yeah, it's a high bar.
Best one. Oh, by the way, we talked about last podcast how we're going to rank our. So I got mine. So
okay.
We'll go over that. Yeah.
So I'm not as familiar with Midsummer Scream. Scream. It sounds like a kind of a mixture of. Kind of like a Horror Nights, but also like a convention.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you have like the first floor, which was a lot of people doing sales, and there was a lot of like art, and a lot of people were making little puppets and little action figures of a lot of horror movie characters, a lot of T-shirts, stuff like that for sale, a lot of bits and knickknacks.
Yeah.
And then you get down to the Hall of Shadows?
Hall of Shadows, yeah.
And that was where it was like people showing off their mazes. And these people like rent out their mazes for
these are companies.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, City of Burbank wants to put up a maze in a park or something. They would contact these companies. And they were just kind of showing their wares kind of thing, and it's really fun. It's interesting because the horror community are very dedicated. They're a very like close knit group and the friendliest people I've met at these things.
Yeah, I definitely
everyone's super nice.
Yeah,
and they're all they're into The Shining or whatever they're into, and it's just like it's kind of neat to see them all kind of bond in that way. Like I feel like problem with like San Diego Comic-Con has become less of a Comic-Con convention and more of a pop culture convention.
Yeah,
and so. It's a little bit of everything, and you see people kind of spread out in their cliques and stuff like that. With this, it was just it's for the love of horror. They had a lot of like, quite a few horror celebrities doing signings there.
Yeah.
And it's just like people that haven't been in the limelight or in a movie for like 30 years.
For a long time, yeah. But people still love them because it's still a horror based.
Yeah, because they're just dedicated to it.
Was there any Michael Jackson Thriller impersonators, like zombified?
I didn't see any.
I think you're going to be the first one. Actually.
Yeah,
that'd be dope. That'd be good. Yeah.
It's like you buy me that leather outfit, I'll put it on.
Oh, okay. You already said it.
It's going to be filled.
You all heard it.
That's our first Patreon goal when we join Patreon is to get Chad the leather outfit.
He said it. It's a legally binding contract.
I'll just memorize the Eddie Murphy stand up and do.
Oh my god, you can do it both.
Although I'd be canceled if I said anything for that.
I mean. Yeah.
That is pretty cool that it's different organizations bringing their own mazes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of like, it feels like they're trying to one up each other a little bit,
Oh, for sure.
The Rose Parade of horror mazes.
Absolutely.
Pretty much,
great way to put it.
That is a good way to put it, yeah. And then Watson mentioned that there was like celebrities who have, were part of larger movies back in the day, and Rachel True was there.
Yeah.
And our friend Tiffany, follow the Yellow Brick Girl on Instagram. She got an autograph with her. She got the
script.
She got the script autograph. Yeah, the script. Who Rachel True was in the craft, and Rachel was selling copies of her script from the movie with her notes in it. And you could buy that. And
like a shooting script, which was kind of neat.
Pretty dope. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
so she got it signed and got to pick out a picture with her.
Yeah, it's one thing to get like a signed like picture or something, but to get something that's like almost like a time capsule of that movie is awesome.
Was Rachel the lead, or was she one of the?
She was one of the girls.
Witches.
Okay, the one from Waterboy, right?
No, that's Frusa Bulk. She was the one that was in Half Baked.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I got you. Yeah. Okay.
So it was a lot of fun, and like Watson was saying, it's like the nicest. These are like my people, right?
I've never seen you more at home.
Oh, so fun, dude!
It's so funny. It was like,
and this is how nice people are. Watson saw this. I dropped my I had a Starbucks gift card in my pocket, and I dropped it, and I didn't realize that I dropped it, and I kept walking, and somebody ran up behind me and goes, "Hey, bro, you dropped this," and it was my Starbucks gift card, and the guy could have just walked away with it.
He could have been a true ghoul, but he wasn't.
Yeah. And then my girlfriend and I went to the dance. They have a Halloween dance every year. This time was the sleepover. That's what they call it, and the horror sleepover. And it's just a dance in the main hall. And again, like you were saying, the nicest people in the world. I wore a pumpkin, a David S. Pumpkins suit, from the SNL skit. And people were like, "Oh man, I love it! Oh, thank you." And then I saw a dude in there who was in the same suit, but was wearing a Scream mask. And we saw each other, and we're like just pointing at each other, like the Spider-Man gif. And we took a picture together, and I was like, "Hey man, you look great." He's like, "As you do, sir, as do you." And it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So and then we were on the dance floor, just having a great time. I'm telling you, man, it's just it's such a great event, dude. It's a lot of fun.
It's definitely like one of those that I wouldn't have known anything about it.
Yeah.
And luckily you invited me last year, and I was like, this is amazing. This is like a hidden gem. This is great.
And there's a lot of people. Every year it gets bigger. More and more people show up, and it's just the cosplays are just amazing.
Oh yeah, people love dressing up, and even in the heat of August, you're like,
right?
Oh, why would you wear
Yeah. I saw a lot more ghost faces this year than I have in the past. I saw 2 more ghost faces than I have.
Yeah,
because last couple years I haven't seen any, and all of a sudden people were in ghost face. So
I would tip my hat to someone who, just to be different, did Ghostface Killer. Just as
right.
But I mean, would you guys? I would assume you're planning next year to go to MS once more.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know why I abbreviated. I just
I like it though.
MS. Yeah, I was like, I had to think about that for a second.
Let's
would it be
MSS?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, MSS. Yeah.
MSS.
Part of me was like, is MS a disease?
It is.
Oh, it is.
Totally
okay.
Is,
yes. All right.
No, I would not be willing to go to that.
No, you don't. You sure? You sure?
I'm okay. No, I go every year. So aside from 2020,
all right. Next year, I will join.
Okay,
really? Okay, there you go. Legally binding contract. Because I asked you to go this year, and you're like, no, it's scary.
No, it's not. It's not that it was scary. It's just I'm not a big horror fan like you guys. You know, I would be gored, but like, yeah, this was cool, guys. Cool. Yeah, just me rolling my ass.
You understand, dude? You have a lot of fun once you got there, dude. Once you got there, it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it is. And there's a lot to do there. It isn't just like looking around at booths. I mean, that's a nice thing about having the mazes and and panels. I mean, there's lots to do. And I mean, we were there all day, and I was never bored. It was never like, I mean, we walked around for I don't know how many hours.
No,
6-7 hours, and then was like, hey, we should probably eat something.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like tired at all. No. I was having just such a great time. I felt more. When we went to D23, that I felt a lot more because I was like, oh, I'm tired, my feet hurt. And
was it more crowded at D23 than it was at?
Probably, for sure.
I mean, Disney.
Yeah, if you're navigating crowds like that, you're gonna.
Well, especially D23 is only every 2 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it's just like all the Disney crazies come out of the woodwork for that.
I think they should change. So like, why is it called 23?
I have no idea.
1923 isn't that when Steamboat Mickey came out?
Oh, maybe I don't know.
Well, because for
fact check, someone fact check. Where's Tiffany? She would know.
Yes.
No. Leave a comment on our post.
She's screaming at her. Old timey radio.
But I would
1920. It was Steamboat Willie.
I mean, I would think that you'd want to like change the number for each year. Like next year would be D24, D25.
Well, I think maybe that's when Disney was founded. Maybe.
That's what I feel like. Yeah, and so because this year's the 100-year anniversary.
Yeah, that's okay.
So for some
that's
reason,
it. That's gotta be it.
Yeah,
for some reason, anytime
it's branding,
says,
baby. You can't keep changing the number.
All right, fine. But anytime someone
can't
says,
make T-shirts when every year.
Anytime someone says D23, I just think I was like, oh, this is the 23rd Mighty Ducks
That's
movie.
what I heard too. When I
That'd be MD23.
That's what I heard when I first heard that. I was like, oh, is this the 23rd convention? No, I guess it's not. Oh, we're not Disney people apparently.
Not enough into
not
it.
Enough.
No.
Not
We're gonna start Disney bounding.
Disney bounding?
Yeah, it's my new theme park, Disneyland, where we learn a lot of busies.
Okay, we're gonna get sued immediately.
Yeah.
It's 33% different. We're all right.
Yeah.
It's more. Yeah, it's like Spritz Mountain instead of Splash Mountain.
Spritz Mountain.
I'll make a deal with Sprite and be like, hey,
the Supernatural Mansion.
Sprite Mountain.
Sprite.
You'll Coca-Cola. Call the convention D24.
Yeah, D24.
See? It's a B24.
B24.
Oh, B. Sorry.
B24.
You're gonna get a suit, dude. You're gonna get a suit. Okay.
And then the lead of the whole convention will be Jack Bauer. And we'll have the 24 o'clock from the show counting.
And he's just running around out of breath.
Yeah.
It's just
and he answers the phone just going, damn it.
It's like a mascot costume with a big Jack Bauer head, you know?
And he squirts you with a water gun.
Yeah, he's waterboarding people. It's the season where he's addicted to drugs. So
Yeah.
You know, there was that one season where he had to give up heroin.
Yeah, he got shot with heroin. I remember that.
God.
That was a rough,
rough
show. It was a crazy show.
I loved it.
That was a
I loved
thing.
it.
Crazy show.
I ate it up.
And so so anything else about
Midsummer was
yeah.
it was a great time. I think everything was great. Food was expensive, but that's just any convention
that's just
nowadays.
par for the course. Yeah. That's just par for the course. And so let me give since I'm a huge horror person, especially when it comes to Halloween events.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give my ranking of Halloween events.
Yeah.
Y'all ready for this?
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have them. You can throw them in there if you want.
Now we're ready for this?
Yeah, ready? First, by far, is Knott's. That is the best event. By far the best event. I should have probably started off with the lowest one, but that's okay.
All right.
Yeah, so Knott's is probably the best one by far. Why? Because they have their own IP. And I said this in the last episode, but every single piece of the maze, they have something in it. So it's not black hallways. The entire maze is interactive, and it's just they go all out. It's amazing.
Oh, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. No, good.
I'm curious. Do they have like an event for kids too? Given
they have
Peanuts IP.
Yeah, I think they have Knott's Spooky Farm.
There.
Yeah,
See, I'll go to Knott's Spooky Farm.
Yeah, that's during the day, and then it's
Chris
just
Chad, he's over in Spooky Farm.
Yeah.
You're still like cowering in the corner. Though.
Yeah, it's like like I guess it's
I get lost in them.
I guess it's equivalent to Disney's Not So Scary.
Yeah,
Mickey's Not. Apparently on the East Coast they have Mickey's Not So Scary, or whatever it is, and then here they have Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, they have the
Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yeah,
so that's what it is. Yeah.
Well, Oogie Boogie Bash is in California Adventure.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and that one is more for the adults. And then they do like the.
Well, what's in Disneyland though?
I forgot the name of it. I'm terrible.
Are you sure? Because I think it's Oogie Boogie Bash for everything, isn't it? Because as I recall, I was talking to Tiffany, who's a huge Disney. She's probably screaming at us right now.
I know. We should get her on and talk about.
I'm almost positive it's Oogie Boogie Bash for the Pacific, the West Coast in general. Yeah. But you may be right though. I don't know. I don't go to that because it's not really a Halloween.
Because I know there's like you can trick or treat in Disneyland.
Oh, right.
Which is really cool. Which is more for the kids.
Right. That's what I mean. I think but I think that's for everybody though.
Oh, okay. Right.
As I recall, I don't know. I might be wrong.
I can't fight you on that because
I might be wrong.
But each candy is $25.
Yeah.
No. The ticket to get in is like $100, but they do. Like I've done it before, and literally you leave there with like 2 pillowcases full of candy.
What?
It's crazy how
Do
much
you
candy.
go to the character
now?
actors
Is it
or the rides?
You can go both.
Is it legit candy or is it
legit?
Trash?
No, legit. But you can
king size. We talking king
We're not
size.
talking king size. They're not getting crazy, but like you can walk down Main Street and hit every storefront, and they'll just like. Boom! Have your ton of candy, and then you go to the characters, and they'll give you a bunch of candy as well.
See, what I would do is I would have candy rides where there's a storefronts, but you could throw stuff through the windows and just grab whatever candy you can and just run. And I think that would be...
there with 2 candy cannons. She's like, bam, 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 bam.
And then I'd have fake bodies on the ground. People were trampled, and people died at the candy rides at Disneyland.
Jesus.
That's the one for the adults.
That's the adult one.
That's the adult one. And then Knott's is followed very closely by Dark Harbor, which is the event at the Queen Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently now, I talked about this last episode, the Queen Mary was taking some damage, so taking on some water, so I don't think they're going to do it. But they have Shacktoberfest now at the Queen Mary. It looks like it's replaced that. I didn't hear great reviews about it last year, and it looked like it was much like a lot of like inflatable stuff.
It's me, Shaq.
Yeah.
Here's my scary
Oh my god!
maze.
I'm sorry, Shaq. I love you, but it doesn't sound like your event was great. The general.
Oh man.
So yeah, Dark Harbors is a very close second to Knott's, and then of course Halloween Horror Nights comes next, which is the, I talk again. I'm not going to go over it, but it's a lot of dark hallway, scare, dark hallway, and then they put like 2 or 3. They put money into like 2 or 3 mazes. It's okay. It's the largest event, apparently. It's also most expensive. But I think it's a little overrated. I think Knott still takes the cake on that. And then Fright Fest, which is the one at Six Flags in Magic Mountain, I think that one's pretty good. But following up very closely on its heels is the Haunted Hayride, which was also at Midsummer Scream.
Booth,
they have a huge booth there, but they also had a panel, which is put on by I think 13th Floor Entertainment, which is the company that is in partnership with them. Last year, so for the first time, I think in 2018, 2019, the Haunted Hayride had mazes, which is like they're about the same size as the ones that we saw at Midsummer Scream. They're like these tiny little things that you go through. But I think they had 3 or 4 the first year that they had them on there, and then last year, the previous year they had 5, I believe. Then last year, because 13th Entertainment apparently also is in partnership with Shacktoberfest, it seems like they took money from the Haunted Hayride and reverted it to Shacktoberfest.
Sorry, why is it called Shack?
Because it's sponsored by Shacktober. It's sponsored by Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, I was joking. I
No.
thought. Oh, okay.
No, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was
Shaq's deal.
I don't know what the theming around it is. It seems like it's just he put his name on it, and it's just kind of like, it's Shaq's kind of Halloween event. But I didn't hear good reviews about it last year.
Are people dressed up like Steel?
Possibly.
That'd be awesome with the hammer and shit.
I don't know if he owns that franchise.
Kazam coming after you.
My God.
There you go. Yeah. But he's like a zombified. So anyhow, they diverted money from
the boombox. I'm here.
They diverted money from that to Shacktoberfest, so it wasn't as great last year. Apparently, this year they're putting more money back into the Haunted Hayride. So
are they the same company that are doing the Singing Pumpkin Patch thing as well? Or is that
I think so.
else?
Yeah, I believe it is. Cool. Yeah, I believe it is. So yeah, and of course there's other smaller Halloween events around LA. That's why LA is great when it comes to Halloween, because we have the most events.
Yeah,
we have the most stuff to do, like that the Night of the Pumpkins you're talking about.
Yeah, and then also and for the kids out there, if anyone's got kids, LA Zoo does a great Halloween event as well. They set up a couple of mazes.
All the animals are dead.
They're just covered in patches. They just release the alligators.
And if your kid doesn't make it, he doesn't make it.
Sorry.
You sign the release forms. You sign the waivers.
The caged gate opens up. And it's like, it's all you. You're right.
Hey,
the hyenas look.
You
so
signed the waivers,
buddy. Oh God.
That's the event. You just
everyone leaves with a mauling.
That's the event. You have to survive the LA Zoo that night.
Yeah. Enjoy the reptile house.
Oh man,
we're gonna lock the doors behind you.
I'll go dressed up as Craven the Hunter, just sniffing soil, eating leaves.
Well, no, because now he's the friend of the animals.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not a hunter anymore. Fine. He hunts bad people.
Fine. Using
his animalistic instincts.
But what about the zoo?
So they have a maze set up, and they have this beautiful like light show for like the zoo at night, where they've got like these different animals set up and stuff like that. It's good. It's
they have mazes too.
Yeah, they have like a little area where they have some mazes set up.
That's cool.
But they're very very easy going. I mean, I've my 5-year-old does it.
Right.
You might be like a little bored of it.
Probably.
But your kid enjoys it.
Oh yeah, he loves it. He loves Halloween. He loves getting scared. So,
that's awesome.
He's all about it.
And so that's a good segue into the next movie that we saw, Haunted Mansion. Justin, did you see that?
Yes.
Go ahead, man. Tell us what you think about it.
Yeah.
I don't think I liked it as much as you guys. I thought it was pretty.
Get out. Just get out.
I have not seen it, so.
Okay, I'll start out by saying.
Are you okay with spoilers?
No, I don't care about spoilers, but I also haven't seen the Eddie Murphy one way back when either.
I have. I saw that a long time ago. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
That movie was not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard people like that one.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
All right.
It was great. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I will start out by saying though that I don't have a deep connection with the Haunted Mansion ride itself.
Get out.
I haven't been to Disneyland a ton of times, so like when the theme, like I believe the theme song kicked in at the end, when the credits. For me, I don't think of the ride when I hear that theme song. I think of this VHS tape that I watched at my grandmother's house that was basically like an advertisement for Disneyland or Disney World.
Oh, wow.
And it was just the mascots dancing to Halloween music. So that's my connection. This is what your
grandma would put on to cut you out.
But the movie itself, I think it started out decently. Like the main character, his backstory with like a past lover.
Right.
But as the movie went on, it became a little less interesting. Most of the other actors kind of just play themselves. It could kind of feel like a bit of a fetch quest and a lot of tropes along the way. The visuals were pretty good. I would have liked some more practical effects too, especially with, like they say Jared Leto in like the opening credits.
Yeah.
You cannot tell it's Jared Leto.
Right.
But I thought they were going to do something cool with like some makeup on him or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I'd say it wasn't bad, but just a little below average for me.
Would you say it was better or worse than The House with the Clock on its Walls?
I did not end up seeing that one. I heard good things about that.
Yeah, I heard good things about that.
That's the Jack Black
with
horror movie.
Kate Blanchett. Yeah.
I did not see that.
I thought that was for kids.
I mean, so was Haunted Mansion.
I think it was directed by, what's his name? Tim Roth?
I want to say that's right, but I can't confirm.
He does more R-rated stuff, but yeah.
Eli Roth.
It was Eli Roth, sorry.
Tim Roth, the actor.
Well, I heard it was a little scary, The House and the Clock with the Walls or something.
I thought it was for kids. I just kind of stayed away from it.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I like the premise of Haunted Mansion, how it was the if you leave, the ghosts go with you,
right?
Because that's based right off the ride.
Exactly.
At the end of the ride, when you're getting off, when you're in the buggies, like you look in a mirror and you see one of the ghosts is tagging along with you.
Yeah.
And so to take that and make that the premise of the movie, I thought was pretty smart, because they didn't do that with the Eddie Murphy one. It was just like a straight up like Haunted Mansion movie, and they had to like stay in the mansion. So I like the idea of you have to return, to the mansion, and like kind of, because why wouldn't you just leave, kind of thing. So I kind of dug the whole premise of that. Was great.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought I was going in just expecting kind of like a Eddie Murphy type movie, just like this kind of goofy thing that's just, as soon as you leave the theater, you kind of forget about it. And instead we got some of that, but we got a really thoughtful, really kind of like heartbreaking story of the main character.
Yeah.
Which
really
is
beautifully done.
Yeah, which is I was really surprised about that.
I don't think the trailers did this movie justice
at all. Nope.
I mean, it just kind of showed goofy stuff with Owen Wilson and Danny DeVito. And
right.
Like, there's a lot of heart to this movie.
No, Lakeith Stanfield was, my God, he's. Yeah. I mean, I've always known he's a good actor. Pretty much everything I've seen him in is really good. Yeah. But he was really good in this.
I don't think he's been pushed in the trailers,
at all.
Yeah, it's like
he's kind of just there.
Yeah,
he's the little kid.
No, he's the adult in it.
He's from Atlanta and
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's the story kind of revolves around him.
Which is weird. That
the little kid was Chase Dillon, who also did an amazing job.
Oh,
yeah. I was really surprised by this movie. I thought it was just going to be this kind of goofy little thing, and it was just, by the end of it, I was kind of really invested in the main character story and why he was so kind of detached from everybody. We finally understand this because his wife passed away. And at the end of the movie, which I love that they made the Hatbox Ghost the main villain. Yeah. I love that shit because I love the Hatbox Ghost. I've always loved him. By the way, the Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride at Disneyland. So this is
typical.
I mean, of course, right?
Who would have known?
Followed very closely by Pirates of the Caribbean.
I would have been surprised if he was like Winnie the Pooh is my favorite ride.
Maybe. No.
It's a small world after all.
Oh God, I hate that. No, don't ever
wait for that movie to come out.
Oh God, you imagine that? That'll be a horror movie.
I should be. It's
just 7 hours of just that. It's a small.
And they drown you in that river.
Yeah.
Gobble 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 gobble.
But there was a million callbacks to the ride itself, which I loved. A lot of little teasers and Easter eggs here and there. No, it was great. I really dug the movie. I thought it was a great cast. Danny DeVito did an amazing job, and Owen Wilson everybody was good in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Did they make a Ghostbusters joke?
They do not make a Ghostbusters joke.
Just checking if they pulled a
I can't
Casper.
say they did. No.
So call somebody else.
Yeah.
That type of.
But yeah, Tiffany Haddish was great in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. I don't think it's not doing very
Rosario
well.
Dawson.
Right?
No, it bombed. It bombed big time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it's tracking kind of low because it's more of a domestic player. It hasn't made much overseas.
Right.
I think it might be around 60 right now.
So the budget was 150 and the box office as it stands is 63 million, which is not third week.
Yeah,
that's not good. That's pretty much the death knell for a movie. So.
It did come out the week after Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Barbie's still killing it.
And I still don't understand why. I think they did the same thing with Hocus Pocus in the 90s. They're releasing a Halloween-themed movie.
That's what we were saying, too. It's like, why are they doing this in the summer? September, I get it, but
I
why
guess
not
they put it on
August?
Disney Plus for Halloween, but
still, why? You don't make that much money on Disney
Plus.
No.
Because I don't think they're building more viewership with Disney Plus. Right. I mean, I don't know if we can talk about it at all, but the numbers for Secret Invasion,
go ahead,
were so terrible.
It's terrible.
It's the lowest rated Marvel.
It bombed, and it was like
TV show ever.
And it's a very expensive show.
It was very expensive, and they apparently had to the director of the show was replaced 3 weeks before production, so they had to rewrite all the scripts.
Wow.
There's a lot of that show you can feel the rewrite stuff. It's not great.
Yeah, and the budget for it was over $200 million
for Secret Invasion, and it's only 6 episodes.
I mean, come on,
And you watch the show, you go, "Where's that budget going?" Because there's a lot of gray buildings.
Yeah,
I feel like they probably didn't have much faith in it in general because this is the only Disney Plus Marvel show that I haven't really seen advertisement for.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of weird.
I haven't even watched it.
Well, wait, did it come out? Did it come out right after the strike happened?
It was midway. It was already in production. It was already halfway through because it was 6 weeks of episodes. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
it's not doing well.
I
heard that they also CGI'd blood on somebody.
Really?
Yeah, so one of the characters apparently falls off a building.
Mm-hmm.
And and apparently that was CGI blood. And it's like, why didn't you just put regular blood? That must have been really expensive. That must have been a couple thousand right there. Right. Why didn't you just do regular blood?
Maybe there was no blood to begin with, and then they were like, we need blood in this scene, but we can't
go
back
and
film it. Let's digitally put it in.
Which makes no sense on top. Yeah, that's also stupid.
In the context of the show, that person ended up being a Skrull.
Right.
So I think they didn't want to show blood because the Skrull blood is purple. And so it's a kind of a giveaway if that person bled out right away. You know what I mean? So when they show that it is a Skrull.
Well, when a human bleeds or, on screen, usually it's a darker
you could
blood
really
anyway. So
I
don't think you would have been able to.
I'm playing devil's advocate, I guess.
Yeah, but it's still CGIing blood. Come on. Just don't put it all then.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say I'm against CGI blood because there are some movies who pull it off well.
No, yeah, but I'm saying in this situation,
if
we can't reveal the blood because it's Skrull. Well, then don't put it on at all. Just ignore that.
Well, and knowing that this is the setup for the Marvels movie.
Yeah, that's another.
And there's no tag at the end of the series. There was no
really?
post credit. No, it just kind of ends, and Nick Fury kind of walks off and goes back to his space station, and that's it. And you're kind of like, wow, I'm really not enthused to go see that movie.
I've also heard a lot of people
6-hour setup of what this movie is supposed to be. I don't care.
I've also heard a lot of people say it disrespects Nick Fury's legacy because he didn't work his way up. He just kind of bribed and blackmailed his way up.
Yeah,
which is like, come on, why would you do that to one of your
show? He was like a middle management.
Right,
kind of
why would you do that to one of your best known characters? I didn't understand
He's a
that.
spy master. Let him be a spy master.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe try to humanize him a little bit and not just make him super spy. But
after I found out how he lost his eye, I was like, that's it. I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out. I'm not. This is fucking stupid. I thought I'm not doing this. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, Haunted Mansion I thought was pretty well done, and I liked it, you know. And then segueing into another horror movie which is being released in the summer, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
Talk to Me.
Oh,
you watched that?
Yes. So this is the movie you should check out. I know you're not big into like possession stuff like that.
Nope. I'll stay away from. I will not see this movie.
Okay. So this movie is really good. Hold on one sec. I gotta look up Vamp. I gotta look up who directed this.
Possession.
Have you watched this, Justin?
Yeah, I saw.
Oh, you saw it too?
Okay. It might have been opening night actually. But yeah, it's a
do you know who
small
directed
budget, only like $4.5 million.
Yeah,
and
but
it's been really successful.
It looks amazing. It's an A26.
A26. There you go.
A24.
A24. There you go.
Disney. Yeah, I got me Disney.
Well, A24. There you go.
A23.
24, 23.
Yeah,
23.
I believe the directors are like YouTubers, but I'm not familiar with them.
Oh.
So
aren't they all Aussie actors? Or
yeah, it's an Aussie. Sorry, I keep jumping on you.
Yeah, go ahead.
No worries. I was just gonna say, like, the trailers, you had no idea, but like when the movie started, I'm like, wait a minute, this is like an Australian film.
Yeah,
takes place in Australia. There's a kangaroo.
Really?
Everyone's Australian.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I mean, does it take place in Australia, or it takes place in the United States, but it's filmed in Australia?
No, it's
Australia.
All Australia.
Okay, cool.
It's an Australian production.
I mean, let me tell you something. Australian film might be end up what saves cinema in general, because they're doing a lot of stuff. So and they're doing all these little like $15-20 million movies that are really killing it. So
yeah,
you know.
So the directors are Danny and Michael Philpow, which they were kind of hit the scene on YouTube making these really great short action shorts, basically, and they're really hard hitting. They did amazing stuff. I mean, if you check out their stuff, it's great. And there's some of that in this movie. You can definitely tell. Like, there's a lot of like some action sequences that are really fun, and like people just smashing against walls and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, $4 million budget.
That's amazing.
They kind of just did it, kind of really shoestring together. It went to. Did it go to Cannes or I forgot? Went to one film festival.
I don't know.
Where it started kind of a bidding war, and A26.
4.
God damn it. Why do I keep saying that?
I was saying it too.
Okay.
Keep going
A24.
up.
Yeah, Jesus.
Rolls off the tongue better, A26.
Damn it. I'm going to stop. I got to try to stop saying it.
I won't correct you.
Yeah, no, please do. But yeah, they bid it for distribution, and it's killing. I think, like on $4 million budget, it's now, what is it, 50 million or something like that?
No, it's like in the teens, but for that
still
budget,
good,
it's really good.
Yeah,
because they probably spent another $3 million on advertising.
Yeah,
so that's not bad. They make their money back. So what's the premise of the film? So from what I understand, it's a possessed hand.
Yeah,
and people are gripping it.
Yeah.
So why would you do that?
Okay, so it's kind of set up. It's an allegory for drugs, basically.
I see.
So it's a bunch of teens that get together in like an abandoned house, and then there's this like a hand there, and the whole premise is if you hold it for like 90 seconds, you can make contact with the other side and talk to someone.
How do they? Do they know that this hand can do that, or they're just put your hand on it?
Yeah. So it's kind of no one really knows where it came from, right? There's like no real like talk of where it was discovered. Yeah. But it just kind of like
it's just sitting in this house.
There was an incident, and then the hand got passed on to another guy, and now the guy hosts these parties that he posts videos online.
Yeah, so it's all these teens are there, and they're the whole point is like you grip it, you kind of there's a great like makeup effect when people get like kind of possessed too, because you have to like invite the. You say talk to me, and then you see them, and then you say let them in, me in, or whatever. And no one else can see the spirit but you, but you get this kind of euphoric feeling after doing it. When you let them in, then they control your body.
I see. And why would you do that? Why would you want them to control your body?
Why would you do heroin? Why would you do anything that could kill you?
It's true.
So that's the whole thing. So that's the premise of like, and so your main character is a girl who has lost her mother. And so she wants to reach out and she wants to talk to her mom. You see there's a young boy who does it early on and holds on for a little past the 90 seconds and gets taken over. Basically, because if you hold on
you have to release it after 90 seconds. Oh, I see.
If you don't, you they can stay within that world, and so he ends up in the hospital. God, I don't know.
But so these are ghosts that are taking over, or is it?
I think
because from what I got, it was like a
dead people.
Yeah,
based on the ending, which I won't go into right now.
Yeah. But
no, it's fine. You can spoil
they also can change their appearance.
That's fine. You can spoil it. I'm not.
So you don't really know who you're talking to. They can look like anyone. Is the whole thing. So the girl thinks she's talking to her mom, but her mom's saying some pretty messed up shit. Like, you should fucking kill those people. Because she doesn't let go right away. And.
Oh, so you can let go at any point then. You still have control to do that.
It's hard to let go.
Yes.
So at the parties, the people have to force the hand off. The main character, she holds on a little long, so then she's kind of being followed by this entity. And then there's also another character, a young boy, who holds it even longer. And
that's why you don't fuck with that shit.
So, so there's some issues along the way because of that.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was like a demonic possession thing, but that's like ghosts. Right?
Yes.
I mean, they're kind of evil ghosts, but
but they're ghosts.
They're maleficent.
All right, that's not that. I might watch that. That's not that bad.
But they think they're. I mean, they don't really know. You know, they're just kind of doing it because they think they know what they're doing. You know, and so the girl, the kid who held on too long ends up in the hospital in a coma, and I remember now, she thinks by throwing him in the traffic will save him. Right?
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's what the evil
it's telling her to
ghost
do.
is telling. We're skipping to the end of it.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine.
But yeah, I guess for some context, with the there's definitely some battle within the main character, because the reason why the young boy does go over time is because he is speaking to who she think is the mother. So she kind of risks his life, even knowing he's young and susceptible to this, to get that time with her. So she feels guilty, but then the mom's also trying to get some more stuff.
It's a really good movie.
It's a good movie, okay.
And it's very well
acted. I might still check it out.
A lot of kind of unknown young actors. There's not a face in there that you can be like, oh, I know that person from something.
Yeah, I think that's how they saved a lot on the budget. I think the directors had mentioned that before, that saved them another $1 million or so just by having lesser known actors. But they did a good job. Overall, I'd say the movie was above or slightly above average for me. Compared to something I hadn't seen the previous films, so it probably wasn't as good to me. But Insidious: The Red Door, very heavy on jump scares and such.
Well, those movies are.
This one, it wasn't relied on the jump scares, and I liked that.
Yeah.
Was it more of a creepy atmosphere? Or?
It's more like It Follows, or I'm sure Drag Me to Hell kind of. I mean, not of course that was more zany.
Yeah.
Poltergeist.
I don't think it's going to be one that you're going to be, scared. Oh no, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
But it has still a horror theme.
Okay.
I feel it's a good vibe, and then they do kind of set up a nice universe almost for that. And they go to, kind of jump into the end with the other hand in Greece. And you're kind of okay, all right. So this can keep going, I feel.
Wow, that's pretty terrifying. That sounds like I'll probably
really
check
good,
that out.
though.
I'll probably check that out.
Yeah, I mean it's a small little indie movie, and we all know that the big studios are playing hard to get with all the stuff going on right now with GA and A24, where the ones that actually signed on the dotted line or on the contracts going whatever you guys want, and they're a small company. Yeah. So it's how come they can say yes to this, but the big guys aren't,
Well, and we have, in September, we have another horror movie being released, which is A Haunting in Venice.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's a little more high-end because Kenneth Branagh is
it's a
in
Poirot
it.
novel. Yeah.
So it's, I'm looking at the the information for it now, but I don't see a budget for it. But I'm sure it's a lot more than $4 million if they got Kenneth Branagh.
I mean, that's Kenneth Branagh's mustache cream alone.
Exactly.
I don't know if you've seen his mustache in those movies.
Yeah, and they got Tina Fey in there as well. So I mean, there's some names in here.
It's probably a lot less budget than the last one they did, which was the
Death on
the Nile, which bombed terribly.
Yeah, big time.
I'm surprised that this one even got made.
Yeah, right. I think this is might be one of the few upsides of Disney purchasing 20th Century Fox, because the last one, like you said, wasn't successful.
And that huge cast.
Yeah, big time.
It might have been a little negatively affected by Armie Hammer in a lead
True.
role, but
timing on that one was
I think it was delayed too because of the Armie Hammer thing. So that's why it came out at the time it did, and probably overwhelmed by another movie, I think.
I don't think it was overwhelmed. I think Uncharted was coming around the same time, so not really the same
another bomb
demographic. But I think Disney just wants to have their own Knives Out kind of series.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So they're allowing Kenneth Brosnan to continue the series, and he's picking a bit of an not a common Agatha Christie novel.
Right.
I think the title of the novel was I don't remember, but it's something like Halloween or something. So it's a bit of an oddball one, and they're definitely going in a different
Poirot's
direction.
Wacky Halloween Adventure.
Yeah. Well, and they have the Last Voyage of Demeter, which is coming out soon.
Yeah. That is it's Dracula
weekend.
on a boat.
Dracula on a boat. Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting that they made, because that is.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too, because that's in the novel and in the movie, which is the Wes Craven movie from 92, 94.
Oh, the Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah. That's a very small section of the movie.
In the book, it's a passage. Yeah,
it's just the Demeter. Yeah, the Demeter pulled up and everybody's dead.
Yeah,
and that's it. And the movie basically is that as well. And I love how they took that one concept, let's Dracula's on the ship and he murdered everybody systematically.
This is like a 2-week voyage.
And I love. I can't wait for that too. Yeah. So again, it's coming out soon in summer.
On a boat.
So, my question though is during the day, where is he hiding? Because
so what happens is he is being transported from England to the United States.
He's in his casket.
He's in his casket, and at night he comes out and he hunts. But people don't see him do that, obviously, because he's a supernatural creature and he's fast. He's a predator, so they don't see where the attacks are coming from.
And then also, does he know how to sail? Because if he kills them all before they hit the shore, he's
it's implied. It's implied in the book and the movie that he finished off the crew right before they got to shore.
Oh, okay.
So
So there's maybe one person left before
they think it's
hit
like a
the shore.
sickness or something.
Exactly. Yeah, because everybody's been drained of blood, so they're like, this is weird. They look pretty sickly.
Do you think they'll change some things up for the movie?
Oh, for sure.
Michael Caine
they have
will live
to
in the end or something.
I think
I feel
like someone's got to tell that story. So.
Well, I think it's an interesting concept because it's as long as they've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Well,
they're stuck on the ship.
Yeah.
What I think is going to happen is when he reaches the shore, he's going to have a human form from drinking all the blood. Like he's able to transform himself more proper instead of just a huge bat creature. So I wonder if it's going to be a specific...
He's a survivor?
Yeah, he's...
that makes sense.
But I wonder if it's going to be... like a bigger actor's name, like he's hidden. We haven't seen him yet.
That could be it.
And he'll make that cameo at the end, and be Dracula
in the Coppola movie.
Oh, maybe it's
it can be set up to
a connected tissue. There
in the Coppola movie, he's completely healed after the voyage because he's drunk so much blood.
Yeah.
He's not like this old man anymore.
He's sexy
like
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, that's
Nosferatu.
But
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. Are you going to see it, Justin?
Yeah, I'll see it in the next week probably because it's coming out this week.
Yeah.
Let me know I'm down.
Dracula on a boat.
Dracula. And
Sick
so
and tired of all these Draculas on the boat.
these motherfucking Draculas on the motherfucking boat.
That's what they need. Sam Jackson needs to go into a good property and get in these Dracula movies.
That's right.
Speaking of Dracula movies,
like an older Blade,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Speaking of older movies, you've made me fuck my segue up, guys. Turtles 2, we also saw that.
Turtles 2, more like Turtles 90s. Boo.
No, I know we saw Turtles 2. I know we also saw Turtles.
Mutant Mayhem.
Mutant Mayhem.
Mutant Mayhem.
What did you guys think?
We
all went to go see it together.
Yes, we all saw it together.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you again, Justin, for sending that out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you for sending
Justin,
that out.
Justin very regularly buys that entire theater for us.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, who wants to go?
Exaggerating a bit.
Yeah, well.
We get seats.
And he's just like, hey, guys, I got 47 tickets.
Yeah.
Who wants to go? Yeah.
It's me and Tom Cruise and you guys.
That's right. Yeah.
And they love popcorn.
Yes. What'd you think of it, Chad?
I would say as a casual movie viewer and movie goer, I liked the movie. But as a...
Okay, here we go.
I mean, a lot of it would be nitpicking, and then certain character choices and stuff. But as a Turtles fan, from the Turtles or the things of the Turtles that I like, I have negative a point of view on why on the stuff they chose for this movie.
The changes
that
were made. Well, one big one for me, if they did this, I would have probably forgiven anything else that bothered me. But majorly Master Splinter, even though he's not Master Splinter in this, he's a Splinter, and he's just a rat from New York. There's no connection to Japan.
That was a little. Yeah.
Also, I wrote some stuff down.
Please,
I was
please.
I don't want to forget anything. But so he's got no real connection to Shredder at all. He's not a sensei.
Yeah.
He didn't spit any wisdom towards the Turtles. He was more of a reclusive dad, which was very uninteresting.
I found that was a weird choice too.
I really liked it.
No, and I
like that choice.
I get that's what they wanted to do for this story. But the thing is, why even choose ninjutsu as they could have learned let's do Krav Maga or something like that. But they chose.
Let's do Tai Bo.
I mean, I think the way he came to the conclusion of ninjutsu was just a throwaway line,
right?
Where I was there should be more meaning behind this. To you're teaching your sons to protect themselves and more so be spiritually in tune and etc. and all that. But really, it's I'm going to teach them so they get,
you want a little more Eastern philosophy.
Well, a little bit of that, but also he could have been I want my kids to be able to be stealthy. What's something that uses stealth? Ninjas, and I don't know. I maybe just needed to
hide in the shadows more.
Yeah, just something to justify. But the fact that they're just watching kung fu movies, and I was okay, that's not even ninja stuff.
Yeah, it was a little weird, kind of like the Karate Kid reboot, where it's not about karate, it's about kung fu. But in here, they call it, they're learn the way of the ninja, but they're showing some kung fu films and even, I believe, some Jackie Chan films in there too. Yeah. And I'm wait a minute, I know Jackie Chan's the voice, but that's not ninja.
He's not a ninja. Yeah. And what else? What else, Chad?
And it was just, they, it just was barely any respect to Splinter as a character was shown. And I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to do kids, they're after, they want to be accepted. They want to be in the real world. They want to go out and do stuff. They're teenagers. But at least include the dad. I don't know. I didn't feel Splinter was included in the story until points that,
oh man,
his prejudice towards humans, that was good. That was interesting. That was one thing I did enjoy about the movie. They brought up the mutant acceptance problem and people not being accepted by the humans, and I thought that was very interesting. But they kind of lose track of that a little bit into it when it's more the Turtles in April, and they're just they're trying to solve the crime to be accepted, but they could have had more interactions with humans along the way.
I could see where you're coming from too. I've only read some of the comic books with you guys and watched the first two movies.
Yeah,
but
this is a very fulfilling prophecy here, because Justin first started with the Rain Bros reading. The first book was a Ninja Turtles one of them, and the last book we all read as a group was a Ninja Turtles book.
Yeah.
So this is now the circle is complete.
What else, Chad?
Were you gonna
I was just gonna ask about for Splinter. I feel in the comic books, Splinter was more a moral compass or guidance for the Turtles, and he was teaching them lessons. While in this film, it was more about trying to give your kids more freedom and not be as strict with them.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of an opposite thing. So I didn't know if that was.
No, that was part of it as well. And don't get me wrong. I know this is a kids movie. It's shouldn't be so intense of a thing. But with like the original Splinter from the comics, he's a pet rat of Hamato Yoshi, and then in the 80s cartoon they just made him Hamato Yoshi. So even I already get how far-fetched it could be, like a pet rat learning ninjutsu.
I love the 1990 training montage.
Yes, of course. They
it's the side-by-side training.
Yeah, man.
Like I was more a fan of that movie than the 80s cartoon, because I think I was introduced to the movie before I saw a real bit of the actual cartoon, weirdly enough. And but yeah, so it was just a lot of that with Splinter, and like Mikey and Donnie, their voice and personality, like I will say Donatello, his person is very nerdy, but I didn't get that tech vibe from him. And I'll say this, the movie's probably more of an origin story for them, and they haven't grown into that personality yet. But for Mikey, I'm used to him being more, the surfer, like cowabunga dude,
right?
And his
character, a typical New Yorker.
Well, I know. But the thing is, like, even if he didn't have that, I didn't find him like very funny. He was very bland with his character. His voice actually sounded older than the rest of them, and he was the smallest of the bunch.
Yeah, it's true.
So that kind of threw me off a bit. I was like, it's just weird, this deeper voice coming from him than the other. Like, I think his voice and Donnie's voice should have switched.
Hey, size doesn't matter,
that would have worked. Yeah. Oh, sorry. But I don't want to keep taking ideas from.
But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
What are some of the things you like?
I was just making jokes. Sorry.
Oh no, dude, sorry. I'm in my turtle.
No, keep going, Jay. Keep going,
Jay. Okay. I did another thing I loved of the movie was the conundrum of the villains having the same goal as the turtles. They want to be accepted,
right?
And I was like, oh, that's really cool. That was well done, and I really like that. And the fighting was great. Although I feel we were kind of gypped out of some more fighting sequences, only because they put it all together in this montage.
Right.
And I was like, I want more of that. But even in the third act was such a weird pace that you didn't get a lot of that. That ninjutsu that they learned. So I was like, all right, well, I guess they're fighting a kaiju, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I don't want to.
Yeah, no. You feel free. Okay. Feel free to jump in.
I do think we'll see the way they set up the sequel.
Yes,
we will definitely see more of that in play.
I have no doubt.
I think this is definitely like baby steps, right? This is an origin movie.
No, it's Turtles Year One.
Yeah,
which I love.
I mean, they have never been outside the sewer, really, except for to steal stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I was all like, they're supposed to be preventing crime, but they're still.
And the first time they take on nothing thugs, they almost lose.
Oh yeah, which I love that first fight because they don't know their own abilities at that point.
Right,
they don't know, like, we know everything in theory.
And the only one who's confident is Raphael, overconfident.
Overly, and he gets his ass get into it, right? Thing. But I kind of love that. It's kind of Raph, really. Like even in the '90 movie, he thinks he can take out a whole room of ninjas and gets his ass handed to him.
No, it's a weird thing to say, but I did like that one of the thugs had an actual gun in a PG movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even the turtles were like, "What?" Like it threw him for a bit, which I love that. Yeah.
What else, Chad?
The soundtrack by
was great.
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
So
amazing.
Good. So good,
I will say, when you guys brought it up and you were talking, like, it did sound great for me, but the one thing that was missing for me was a theme for the Turtles. I didn't feel that there was a theme.
It's true.
And I felt that took it away.
Good point.
It was kind of like, I enjoyed it, but you know what I enjoyed more was the 90s hip-hop that they added in. That overwhelmed Trent's score for me.
Yeah,
I barely noticed Trent's score.
The needle drops
of the
were good, yeah.
And I like when they do that, but sometimes it's just like, well, I know you're setting an aesthetic probably for, like, you want 90s vibe to, like how Transformers did with the rap music they picked and stuff.
Well, same with the Into the Spider-Verse, like the songs in that, are I mean, not 90s, but they're very like
iconic.
I love that soundtrack.
No,
I listen to that soundtrack constantly.
And some need it, and some, but like I think if this movie didn't have a lot of the hip hop, like they could have been a little bit more inventive with some of the score that they did.
Right.
And they were synthy, which I do love synth scores and stuff like that. But
I get what you're saying. There wasn't like a heavy, like a theme that you're humming out when you're leaving.
Yeah, it was like a lot of percussion and stuff like that. And I don't know, there's some parts of it stuck with me, but some didn't really. It faded out. Like I had to go home. And I didn't realize how many tracks Trent Reznor had of the score. I was like, I did not hear some of these in here, or maybe I just missed it. But
you just wanted a Vanilla Ice.
Well,
Go Ninja.
God, well,
hey, we got a little bit of it.
No, it was a funny, like the car radio. I was like, okay, that's cool.
That's
cool.
Funny.
Funny,
Another funny.
But yeah, no, I just thought. I remember the hip hop more than Trent Reznor's score from the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So I felt bad for him in that case, but I mean, I'm sure he's doing fine, obviously.
Yeah, I think it could have used a little less of some of the licensed songs. Like I seem to remember like "Take on Me" playing for a long time, or maybe it was a different pop song. Like during the chase sequences.
Yeah, I'm blank. Oh, it was the song with the animated He-Man where he's like.
Four Non-Blondes,
yeah.
Take on Me was Mario Brothers.
My bad.
Hilariously, both of those like 80 songs are in there.
But
No, I was like just kind of following your note. Like maybe if it was, I'm trying to think of like if the RZA did the score, you know, like he's done animated stuff before.
Well, like he did. Oh, not RZA, but Raekwon and Inspector Deck, I think, did a song for the Shredder's Revenge video game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, like if you get to kind of blend in the hip hop into more of the needle drops,
like Afro Samurai. That was
yes.
Oh,
so like I think like the Trent Reznor score it's good, but it does kind of rub up against that other style of music, you know. So maybe it was something a little bit more.
I mean, maybe since it's an origin story, maybe in the second one they might get a theme. But you know, I felt that was lacking thereof for whenever they got in ninja mode.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. There wasn't anything
for the sequel. They'll just the whole soundtrack from the Out of the Shell tour.
Yes, I can't wait for that.
Oh no. We'll show you that at some point. It's like,
Nightmare Fuel.
You haven't lived until you've seen that.
Yeah, so. That'll be after the third movie.
It's like The Ring. Like you just have to watch the tape.
Yeah. And, just get through it, and then pass it on to somebody else.
Exactly.
The animation, great. It was fantastic.
It looked like a comic book. It was great.
Yeah, I loved it.
Like I felt because I watch a lot of other media and play a lot of video games, and it reminded me a lot of Borderlands with the palette and the cell shading a bit, with the kind of scratch or the
hatch lines,
detailed patch lines on the characters.
Yeah. For me, it was kind of like sorry, I'm blanking now. Like a rough draft.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, they didn't erase the drawing lines of the rough drafts.
Well, some explosion was actually just swirls of a marker or crayon and stuff, which I was like,
I love that.
Great. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, sorry, concept art. That was the word I was looking for.
Concept art. But I felt it was a mixture of the Borderlands and like the actual models of some of the human characters reminded me of like Paranorman or Box Trolls, if you remember that movie.
Yes.
And I was like, I tried to look it up, but there was no like connecting person that worked on those.
To those
but I felt like it was very influenced by or so, you know, just
that's,
by those two.
That's good, yeah.
And a bigger problem that I have, Bebop and Rocksteady, how they're good guys.
Yeah,
I was like, that shouldn't be.
That's the only thing I didn't like. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the few things I didn't like. Yeah.
Like maybe they could have like held them out of this movie and like made them come in the second one working with the Shredder. So I just felt that it was a misuse of them, or obviously for younger kids who are seeing this for the first time won't be like, oh, those are supposed to be bad guys, so that's not going to bother them really.
Yeah, but
if they do a stupid trope of like, oh, they got a computer chip in their brain and now they're evil, I'd be like, that's dumb.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Control in movies.
Yeah,
I didn't like that they're good guys. I didn't like that either, and that they were kind of sympathetic. It's like people on Rocksteady, man. They're supposed to be just thugs. You know?
Yeah, like that would have been cool if maybe if Rocksteady and Bebop were a little bit more intelligent and they were, or secretly intelligent, and they were manipulating Superfly into doing something evil, and I was like, oh, that would kind of
different take,
yeah, different take or something like that. And
well, I mean, look, it's early days, and I do feel like I'm just putting it out there, but like we still have like the Cynthia Ulam out there with like Baxter Stockman's original like tech stuff. So I mean, maybe she finds a way to manipulate like his mutants versus like the turtle.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, his data.
I mean, I'm just off the top of down. I don't know, but
well, yeah.
There's
time
ways
will
to
tell
do it.
when. Yeah. The I will say the movie was very reference heavy, and within 2 to 5 years it'll be very dated. And don't get me wrong, I know
the old ones were similar.
The old. Well, I would say they are, but they weren't as heavy with it. Like there was
a Kodak moment.
Well, yeah, but like that's the only one I remember from the 1990s movie. Kodak moment. Is there another one you could think of off the top of your head? Like,
I mean,
that dated it?
Yeah, that dated. I mean, other than like the cars and the,
Yeah, I mean, no. Aside from the technology, that's about it. I mean, as far as pop reference,
Jose Canseco.
Yeah, I mean,
there's.
But like compared to this movie, every few minutes it was like, oh, Attack on Titan.
Well, that all came like organically though, because the kid that was the voice of Donatello is like a huge anime nut.
Oh, okay.
And so he'd like show up to recordings wearing T-shirts of anime characters.
All right.
And I mean, the one thing I did hear, listening to an interview with Seth Rogen, because he's done so many animated movies before.
Yeah.
And he was like, the times when things really worked for him was when he was in the room with other actors getting to improv and do things together. So that's what he did with the boys that played all the turtles. He like had them all in a room and they recorded all the lines together, and that's why you get that real organic sound of them just kind of messing around and the dynamics. And a lot of things that pop up is just those kids just being kids. And I think that really works for the movie. It's like these feel like real teenagers. They don't feel like, guys in their 30s pretending to be teenagers. No,
Well, I will say for some reason, they sounded younger than teenagers to me.
Yeah.
But I know they actually are teenagers. They are.
Right.
But you get that kind of Stranger Things kind of vibe from them.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, I know they're older, but it's just, for some reason, they seemed a little bit younger. But I was like, that's...
Yeah, again, we're used to, in the 90s, 15-years were being played by 30-years.
Hey, it's me, Michelangelo.
Right.
But, no, yeah, I just thought it was just a little reference heavy. But like that comes with the territory, of any animated, during the time, whatever time it's made. But the main thing that I had a problem with was the ending of the movie. That was. But I was just like, there's Splinter. That was the one issue. But the problem with the movie for me was the ending with
where do they go from here?
But also like you gave him something they've always wanted. Like, what's the point of even...
That's why it's even more tragic when they take it away.
I mean, but the thing is, now if you think about it, okay, they're going to school, and then you get possible school shooters attacking the school, What? I'm just... Christ. What? Is that not possible?
Just wanted to clarify when I said I liked seeing the guns in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't mean this.
Can we call it school ninja attacks?
Yeah, I mean, or fine, okay.
The foot might attack the school. I think
that's
a big...
Attack, yeah.
They'll throw a ninja star, it enters a kid's skull, or something like that.
I mean, that's why April wears the helmet.
I mean, that's smart.
No, I think that would be a good... I mean, yet again, I think that would be a great thing to do in a sequel, is to show that, like, these guys, you can't have everything. You can't be outward crime fighting and still try to have a normal life. Like, the Shredder might attack the school, and then they have to deal with being kicked out of school because they're a threat now, right?
That's true.
Like, and then, they have to, like,
they know they can't be there because they're...
But I also...
exactly. I think that's a great place to go with the story that we've never seen with Ninja Turtles.
Well,
before.
why would they even put on their ninja bandanas again? Because it doesn't matter.
I thought that was weird that they took them off in the first place.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. That's the first time we've seen the Turtles without their bandanas and their colors in general.
I'm fine with like them.
I was like, what is
take
this?
It off. Like, but the point is,
I was a little weird with that.
If they're if that's their ninja look, like why I mean,
because they've put the weapons away. This is the they've now become
they can't
normal.
take them to school.
So it's going to be TMNT 2 all over again, huh?
I mean, they might as well put on like a full ninja outfit just to be like, all right, now we're.
That's the gunslinger thing, right? Like they took off their bandanas, they took off their weapons. Guess. They're now becoming normal part of society.
But they're still deadly weapons with their thick bone structure of, you
can't take off your shell. What are you going to do?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I just don't care about. I don't care about them going to school. Like I don't want to.
Me neither.
I don't think the next movie is going to be them going.
We have to get our math test done, Splinter.
I'm sorry, we can't go fight crime.
Our SATs are no.
I have debate club afterward.
I think this is a great setup for a sequel where things are going to get taken away.
Yeah,
including 1, their school life. 2 is going to be their family. Like they made a family.
Wait, can I give you a joke that might happen?
Do it.
They go to class and they don't have the homework, and it's like, our homework got shredded by the shredder.
Our father read our homework. He's a rat.
I do wonder if they ended it with the school because they announced that they're going to have a TV series taking place in between the 2 movies. So maybe the school's a way to keep a grounded television show.
It makes me think of like the Buffy show where she had to get ready for homecoming, but also there was a monster.
Yeah.
All in all, I did like the movie. It's just I have my problems with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tear apart movies I love, but it's like this
because we love them, we talk about them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Obviously, though, in the listing of turtle movies, I would say it's the 4th. It's number 4.
Wow,
and that's high. That's pretty high for.
What's your ranking?
But ranking?
Are we gonna do rankings?
4.
There's 6. Hold on. Let me grab my phone real quick. I have you guys.
Well, I'll just talk for a minute about why Chad is wrong. No. I'm going to pull this card out as a father. Slap that on the table. I love what they did with Splinter because... okay.
Don't get me wrong. You're putting prejudice in your child's head? Is that
No. But he literally tries to go out in the world with them, and he realizes he can't protect them, right?
Okay.
So they have to learn some kind of self-protection. I love that he is trying to... he's trying to have a party with all the Chris's. And trying to connect with his kids. I mean, this is the first time we're seeing Splinter as a dad.
True.
Usually he's a sensei. He's like, all right, you
but
guys
no,
do
but
your...
but in the 1990,
he's like, I love you, my son.
Yeah.
He's still
he's very wise in the 1990 version,
True, but do you feel that heart, that love?
In that when he's talking to Raphael in that scene, that still makes me tear up, When he says you're unlike all your other brothers, you burden your troubles differently. It's like, don't forget about them and don't forget about me. That's
okay. I'm gonna cry.
Oh, I'm gonna cry too.
But then I love it parallels with Baxter Stockman's storyline of he just wants a family too.
Yeah, true.
He was trying to create his own family.
True.
And the parallels of the 2 groups where Superfly and his mutants go out in the world.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much treated the exact same way as the Turtles, but instead of internalizing it, they're like, well, we will strike out against the world.
I was hoping that what they were going to do with Splinter was, I was hoping that first of all, his story is very sad when he's a New York rat, so everybody hates him.
Yeah.
And he goes down and he tries to show his children the world, and
they really are his children.
Yeah, exactly. But I was hoping that they would still have a connection to the Splinter that we know, who's connection to the Japan, who still has some type of connection to the clans there. But what I was hoping they would do,
he has a bunch of Homoto Yoshi tapes.
Well, that's
but what I was hoping they would do,
guy that they got.
What I was hoping they would do is that they would have him they would have him talk to the Turtles and say, the humans need protection, but they're not ready to accept us.
Right.
But in this movie, he kind of has hatred towards them, and I was like, that's not really the Splinter we know.
Yeah.
The Splinter we know is everybody is worth saving.
Right.
Yeah.
So
they have
that's
they make
that
choice on their own of we will be heroes, and then they'll accept us. That's their journey.
Yeah.
While he's more just hide away.
I'm thinking,
but then he has to learn to change through the course of the movie, and then by the end, he's like, "You guys are right," and he actually gets helped out by the people on the street. It's a very powerful moment when the humans help the mutants in the last fight,
right?
Of oh no, we're all in this together against this giant whale monster.
I mean, they kind of pulled a Spider-Man there where it's like, you mess with me, you
mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, all right.
You know what we're talking about?
I rolled my eyes at that.
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
All right, good.
But I think, I mean, they have room.
Also, I'm hoping it sets up that, the tables are going to turn in the next movie. You have the Shredder do a little psychological warfare. Maybe the people in New York turn on the Turtles because high schools get attacked because of them. I'm just saying, putting it out there. I'm not writing it.
Well, I think they could still connect Splinter somewhat by retroactively saying, "Oh, I didn't tell you the whole story. Yeah. I was actually a pet of a Hamata,
and that's how I ended up on the street or something.
And he's like,
oh, that'd be dope. Yeah.
So I'd be like, I guess there wasn't room for the whole story.
They could always expand on.
I hope they do. I hope they have a connection. That's a great connection.
But it's still a fun movie. Yeah. I saw it a second time in theaters just to see if it held up. Oh. It didn't hold up as much for me the second time, but it was only a few days in between. Right. So I'll look forward to watching it down the line. Maybe if it comes back and I'm like, this was fun.
I love that montage, by the way. I know it's
which one?
The camera work that it broke up a bunch of fights, but going through all the generals trying to get find their way to Superfly. Yeah. And they go and it's a oneer, if you will, but it's I saw it as an homage to Old Boy, which I know you guys are planning to go see because it's coming back out in theaters. But the whole fight where it's just like a single take almost and with each punch it transitions to another fight. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
No, that was good. Yeah,
so well done.
And
it was like that's how you do a montage. Yeah. That's how you show it's this flow of action that never stops. That shows them getting better as well. If you watch each fight, like they're getting faster and better.
And if you pay attention, each time they break into one of the hideouts, it's a different turtle up front, taking charge.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, that's really cool.
It's so good.
That sequence alone, I could watch that sequence over.
Yeah, it's a great sequence. Yeah,
and and especially like the first fight where they don't trust their own skill set and they're just kind of getting their ass handed to them to where they're at the end of that last one. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
I also like the turtle story themselves. They made them, in the other movies they're sympathetic because they're heroes, but in this you kind of actually feel for them because in the beginning
normal things.
and they as when they're walking back into the sewer and they're looking out through the grates and seeing the city and they're kind of like bummed out that they can't be part of this living breathing city they live in, and then they're watching movies from the distance. They can't be amongst the crowds. They're
not incels. They want to be parts of society.
Leonardo sees couples and friends together and he wishes he had that as well. It was really well done.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like the ending of this movie, I think it would have been perfect to have it. Let's say if they made a trilogy of these movies, at the third one they finally get what they've been working for. Because I used to watch Naruto, right, and watching from the first cartoon into Shippuden, and like when he gets the acceptance of the whole town after saving it, I was like, I tear up. You tear up. Aww. It's just like, oh man, he earned it, and I just felt like they needed. I know they saved the city, but I felt like more needed to be earned.
Well, I feel like they didn't know if they were going to get a sequel or not.
That's true. And I thought that myself. I was like, maybe they just want to sum it up in case.
Because the same thing with the 2007's TMNT movie. They thought they were going to get a sequel for that, and it never happened. So I felt like they left a lot of things out.
I still need to see that one.
It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched it either.
All right, we're going to watch that one.
I do think it would have been a good lesson had they not been accepted.
Yeah.
Just for kids that while not everyone will accept you for who you are, there will always be people who
great
love
lesson
you.
to learn.
It was very easy for them once they showed up at the high school for everyone to be like, we're your buddies. But they're also like uber internet famous at that point.
Yeah.
So
I was like, I would have loved to save the city and everybody loves me.
Yeah. That's all you got to do, Chad.
Yeah, Chad.
Save the city, Chad.
Save the city.
Save the city.
But I have my list here of...
Go ahead.
Like the two movies I haven't seen are the 2007 one you mentioned, and then the Rise of the TMNT movie from 2022 of the new version of the show that's going on now, I guess. But number one, obviously, the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Number two, it was a TV movie of the 2003 Turtles, Turtles Forever.
Which I've never seen. That's the one
it's so good.
They cross over with the original.
Yeah, the 80s and the original comic version. They all like
Mirage
multiverse.
comics.
That's why I was like, to me, this movie was another multiverse of Turtles. So I was like, fine,
absolutely.
whatever.
Which one is that?
Turtles Forever.
Turtles Forever.
It was in 2009. And then the third one is Batman vs. TMNT.
Love it.
So good. So good.
I love it so much.
I want to see that.
Then number 4, TMNT Mutant Mayhem. This is the current one here. And then after that, number 5 would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze.
How is that not number 1?
Yeah, seriously.
I can't abide it. I can't abide it. Sorry. But right below that's the third movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, 93, obviously, And then the last two, obviously, are the Michael Bay ones, 2014 and 2016, Out of the Shadows. Those were just, we don't...
Wait, did you put Out of the Shadows at the very bottom?
Yeah.
I think it's better than...
The way they do Casey Jones is...
I didn't watch it. What do they do with Casey?
It's Stephen Amell.
He used to be like a cop, and then he's got this hockey equipment in his trunk. This is bad. It was bad.
And it was written they wrote it like he was a 19-year-old kid, but it's like a 35-year-old man going I want to be a detective someday. And you're like, dude, you're 40. What are you doing?
The one thing I did like about Out of the Shadows was Brad Garrett as Krang. I was like, he was interesting. He was a deeper voice instead of
I liked the Bebop and Rocksteady, their relationship as
I did
just bros.
But I hated that it was Rocksteady was the Irish wrestler.
Yeah, Sheamus.
I was like, the Irish accent was bothering me for the Rocksteady. I was like, an Irish rhino, that doesn't work. I was,
just prejudice.
Yeah. Stop drinking. That's what I say.
Well, should it be a potato instead? Would have done it for you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. I liked it. I pretty much agree with you on most of the stuff, but I still liked it. I thought it was the soundtrack was amazing.
Go see it. Don't.
I liked it. I didn't. I like Splinter. I didn't 100% agree with what they did with him, but aside from that was basically my only problem.
It looked great on a big screen. I think the animation style had a sense of 3-dimension to it, even though it looked like a watercolor, it looked like a hand drawn thing.
Yes,
but it did have depth, which was amazing.
Yeah, something just.
Yeah. I just wanted to go over a couple thoughts that I had.
Please.
Sorry for bogarting the discussion.
No worries. A lot of your points I already had written down. I've started reviewing movies now, so I remember them better.
Where are you reviewing them? You're on
Letterboxd.
Check out Justin's Letterboxd.
What's your at?
Justin _ time _
There you go.
Okay.
We'll post
not complicated at all.
Yeah.
We'll post it on Instagram and stuff for everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I gave it above average. I really liked the animation. I was surprised. I was worried with the kids. I know they're teenagers, but I kind of like the more adult interpretations. But the kids didn't bother me that much, and I thought that the voice acting overall for almost all the characters was really good.
That's excellent.
The only exception is I felt like Seth Rogen as
Bebop.
Yeah. It just sounded like Seth Rogen, but everyone else was really good.
What about Ice Cube as Superfly?
Yeah, he really surprised me. I mean, I haven't watched barbershop movies. I've seen Ride Along, but he did a good job. And one thing I did mention.
So we'll be waiting for your barbershop reviews.
We'll watch the trilogy.
He's been in other things.
Well, I mean, Justin's younger. He wouldn't have known about Boys in the Hood.
That's true.
Oh,
That's true.
yes.
He's been in other things.
Yes. Yeah. Triple X2.
State of the Union, baby. State of the Union.
But he did a really good job, and I think something that it was able to pull off is, to my understanding, Superfly is an original character. He's not from the comics. So unlike something like the Mortal Kombat movie, which introduced Cole to us, Superfly felt like a good part of the movie. I understood his motivations, and he felt like a good character.
Mm-hmm.
As for the rest of the villains, though, I do feel like their background was a bit simplified. They're just a bunch of little animals that got gooed on them, and I won't rephrase that, but you know what I mean.
Don't.
But
I did
have... That's a different Turtles movie. Out there.
the
with a different April O'Neil.
Yeah. But I was having a lot of comparisons with Into the Spider-Verse, where I feel like with another 15 or 20 minutes of runtime similar to that latter movie, they could have fleshed out the villains a bit more. Like Into the Spider-Verse, you had multiple legacy villains come in, but they were all fairly fleshed out. And this one, if you didn't know anything about the villains, I feel like they only really gave you one quirk about them. Like the Manta Ray wanting to sing. And
stop singing, fool.
I know Post Malone did the voice.
Yeah,
it's so great.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I know Bebop and Rocksteady, but if this was your introduction to them, I don't think you would have known much about them.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier how we didn't
memorable.
Yeah, we didn't like how they were. Yeah, how they were good guys.
And because of that, like when we first meet the villains and they're playing like they're doing like bowling and stuff, and they're saying evil things. Since we know little about them, when they do all turn good, it doesn't feel as impactful as it could have. I think the closest any other villain outside of Superfly comes to having a personality is the Gecko
Mondo
guy,
Gecko,
which I was surprised by. I thought he was just going to be the side, but he was probably the standout of all.
He got
the
more lines than
villains.
most people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, voiced by Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
I
think you're right. That if they'd have split the group up at the end, like if it was like half of them stayed, like Leatherhead and Bebop and Rocksteady left, and did their own thing. We're like, we still want to be evil, and then you had your Mondo Geckos, your scumbug.
Scumbug.
And who else was there? Ray Fillet. Like they could own Wingnut. They could have all joined the Turtles.
Yeah.
I think that would have been, a little bit more than them all just changing sides last minute with what's his face? Superfly. God.
Yeah. And I know I'm curious about your guys' perspectives because I know they changed up some of the characters a little bit. Some things are minor, like the two of the villains now being female that were originally male.
Oh yeah.
But others like April O'Neil, she's quite different in this interpretation. Like in the '90s film, she was kind of a expert reporter, but had to prove herself. And this one, she's kind of an overweight high schooler who's I didn't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying how different they are. But instead of already being, great at what she is, she has to overcome her insecurities in order to become that. So she does have something to strive for.
So I read this was a point of controversy among some people for some stupid reason that they were upset that they had race swapped April O'Neil, and I was like, I don't care about that. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I just give me a good character.
Technically, from the original comic book, she was racially ambiguous, so you couldn't.
Right. Exactly.
Well, and also she's also black and Rise of the Turtles.
Exactly.
That's been on for like 3-4 years.
Right, for a long time. So I was like, I don't care. I just want to see a good character, and they gave us a great character. She's not. Her being race swapped had nothing to do with her as a person. She wasn't perfect. She wasn't better than the Turtles. She did not outshine them. She was a geeky, insecure high school kid who wanted to be a reporter, who got her chance to be a reporter, but she has an insecurity in being in front of cameras. And they do this thing, the scene in the movie where they call her, what do they call her? Pukey April?
Oh.
Puke girl.
April Puke.
They go
because
all out with it.
Because she went on the school television network and was supposed to give the morning news, and she started vomiting over everything. And it's one of the funny. I was dying.
Going too.
I was dying, and she like how she's like vomiting all over the place, and she like grabs on the sign for the school news banner, and she's like that brings that down with her. I thought it was hilarious, and there's a character arc for her at the end where she's not a fighter. April was generally not a fighter in any of the Turtles, resurrections.
But she wants to get the truth out.
She wants to get the truth out, and she's a fearless reporter, but that doesn't mean she's a fighter, right? In this movie, she's not a fighter there. She's there backing the Turtles up and helping them out as she can. And at the end, she has her own character arc where she has to go on to a massive television network and tell New York, this is what's going on. The Turtles are trying to defend you.
Again,
and she almost pukes, but then she gets over it, and she's able to have her character
She
arc.
does puke a little bit.
But yet again, like the Turtles, this is a great April 1.0 version. This is the start, the 0 year for her and her journey. And I like the idea that they made her a high school student.
I love that too. Yeah.
Like, because why would a 30-year-old woman hang out with a bunch of high school turtles?
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
it's a little problematic.
Well,
like,
you could tell some teachers that.
Yeah.
They kind of, they've done it in the past where they've changed the origins where it's April is the one that's like named the turtles when they were little and stuff like that, like with the Megan Fox version.
Yeah.
To kind of like, well, there's a reason why she's hanging out with them, and not because it's a creepy thing.
Yeah, I do like how since we were having a younger portrayal of the turtles, we were getting a younger portrayal of April, and that she wasn't already this amazing reporter. Yeah. She had to overcome things to become.
Well, in a lot of franchises, she's not. She's an up and coming reporter.
Okay.
Like
I'm not as familiar.
Yeah, so. Like in the animated version, the 89 animated version, 89, right?
87.
87. Yeah, she's saved by the turtles when she's trying to report on the Foot Clan, and they come in nowhere and save her, and she's like, "Oh, hey," you asked why would a 30-year-old woman was? She's like, "Oh, this is fascinating," just like in the 1990 version.
Yeah,
like, this is fascinating.
Well, I think in every version, or at least around. It's been the Mousers that she comes across.
Yes.
And then they save her from the Mousers.
Was that in the 87 version too? I thought it was Foot that tried to. Oh, not Foot. It was just some thugs that tried to like assault her.
It was it was Bebop Rocksteady before they were transformed.
Right, that's what it was. Yes.
Oh, you're right.
That's right. And then Shredder transforms in. Yes.
Because I remember the 2003 series. It was the Mousers she comes
with
across.
Baxter Stockman.
Because there's a bunch of burglaries happening that she's investigating.
Mousers.
And
I want Mousers in the next one.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Let's get
But
Mousers.
they got rid of Baxter Stockman.
Or did they?
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Fly still.
Yeah.
Sideshow needs to do a full size.
Because they said that Superfly has like some of his intelligence or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So they could do that.
Sideshow needs to do a full size Mouser.
Is Cynthia Utrom
Yeah, that'd be dope.
an alien?
I mean, the name does imply, if you know turtle lore, like that's what the species that Krang is from.
But do you think it's going to be space or Dimension X, though?
I think you do
Dimension X.
I think
that'd be better to do Dimension X.
It's interesting because I think now because everything is doing multiverse so far, bringing other dimensions, they might be like, let's not do that because everyone else is doing that right now. And they're already being compared to Into the Spider-Verse. That's true. Because the art style and stuff like that. So maybe they want to do something a little different.
Oh, yeah. I do think, we're going to be saying this with a lot of animated film now, is like since Into the Spider-Verse, we've had a lot of unique art styles. Mm-hmm. And what I'm glad is they aren't copying Into the Spider-Verse. It does have its unique look.
Yes.
Like I was mentioning, or we were mentioning, kind of like a...
the character design,
the concept art.
The concept.
Keep blanking.
Yeah, like storyboarding almost.
Right.
But I guess like one last question is like, if Casey Jones comes into the sequel,
Casey Jones will come.
And he's not a badass at the beginning, how would that make you feel?
Like if he's like kind of beat up and he's like, I'm gonna avenge myself or something like that.
Like if they do something similar to what they did with April.
Well, I can see this working because. Okay, they're going to high school, so maybe
there's a hockey team.
There could be that, but I was going more in the sense of he's a dropout. He gets expelled from school.
A little older,
but he's a little older. But he hangs around the school, so they're like, "Who's that cool guy?" And he's riding a motorcycle or something.
I automatically see like him and Raph like getting into
smoking
it.
cigarettes. Be like, "Who are you?" Obviously, they wouldn't put cigarettes in.
It'd be a candy cigarette.
It'd be candy cigarette.
Like I really like his backstory in the IDW series with the abusive father and hanging out with the turtle that relates to.
And I feel like this kind of movie, because they deal with like kids' insecurities and stuff like that. I mean, maybe that was a storyline they want to go down, as like, he takes abuse from his dad, and So I don't know. Maybe we'll see something like that.
I hope so. As long as they bring Danny back, that's all I care about.
Danny,
just bring Danny back.
You know I love you.
It's Dan now, Dad.
Another movie, I should say, involving a massive weird creature is Meg 2, which Justin recently saw. What'd you think about that, Justin?
I rated it.
First of all, what's the Meg about? Give us a quick synopsis about what the Meg is, because the first one is an interesting movie, I suppose.
Yeah, the first one was called The Meg.
The Meg.
Yep. This one's called Meg 2, The Trench.
Oof.
They dropped the.
Watch out.
Based on a book called The Trench.
Yeah, there's like 9 books in this series.
Oh,
so
really? We got a lot of Statham versus.
Wait a minute, this movie franchise is based on a book series?
Series.
I didn't know that. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Which they've been trying to make since the early 90s, I believe. I think like George Clooney was lined up to do this movie like in 95.
I didn't know that.
Well, there was a bunch of B movies back then that were on the Sci-Fi Channel. Megalodon versus, Octopus and all that stuff. So.
Right.
Yeah, and I know, Chad, you saw it too.
I did.
But I'd say it might be, I'd say the first one wasn't that good, and this one might be below that one. It has higher highs, particularly in the last 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But before then, not much goes on. It's called The Trench for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to speak a little, Chad.
Is Jason Statham in this?
Yes.
Of course.
A lot of returning characters from the first movie.
Yeah. The only exception is
the love interest from the first one, right?
Yeah. The love interest.
Yeah, the love interest. I think she died off camera scene somewhere.
Because we couldn't afford her.
Yeah. But pretty much I would say this. I mean, even though this movie's not good, it's not a good movie. But I think it was entertaining in the sense that it upped the ante from the first one. I was like, this is... In my head, it's almost felt like a Fast and Furious. It's just gets more absurd, right? But it was very bland in the beginning because... which is rare for a big blockbuster movie like this, is that most of the dialogue in the beginning, or majority of it, was in Chinese. Which obviously... It also focused on Wu Jing, who is and I know him because he does a lot of martial art films. Wolf Warrior, one of my favorites, is a great one. I
was just gonna say it's been a bit of a rarity after the pandemic, but this is a U.S.-Chinese co-production, just like the first one was.
Interesting.
We haven't seen much of them, and the Chinese box office hasn't been as big as it was. But a new character introduced, I forgot his name, but you named him.
Yeah.
He was in the highest grossing movie in China, so they got him for a reason for the Chinese audience.
He's Chinese Brad Pitt.
I believe it was called The Wolf Warrior 2.
Yeah.
Still wolfing.
But and I think the movie's actually doing decent in China, about the same as the first one. But this one definitely feels more Chinese than the first one was.
Yeah, very
not necessarily in a bad way, but you just have a lot of more Chinese dialogue.
Yeah.
So let me guess what the premise of the movie is.
Okay.
They got to kill the megalodon.
No.
Megalodon.
But there's 3 of them.
There's 3 now.
Yeah.
There's 2 in the first.
They're the head of the head of the shark mafia, so they're megalodons.
Megalodons.
Wasn't there one in the first one?
There's 2, wasn't there? There was 2 sharks.
There was 2 in the first one.
Yeah.
Really?
They
kill one, and then another bigger one comes up.
Okay, you're right.
Because of the gases that release.
Yeah, the thermal.
Another megalodon.
In this one, there's 3.
Yes.
And there's some other creatures, too.
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's kaiju as well, huh?
So I would say there's similar to these types of movies, there's always some sort of a villain, like a human villain. I know in the first one there wasn't.
It was really? Rainn Wilson was kind of a villain in the first one.
Was he?
Well, he was trying to cover up all the deaths and stuff.
He was making all the money, and he didn't want anyone to know about the shark. But that ended up leading to the shark.
It was
a very last-minute heel turn.
This one, it was more like villain in the sense that they're. I don't want to say eco-terrorists, really, but.
Speaking about it makes it sound much more funnier than it is. But the movie opens up and you see that Jason Statham, he's this guy who's like a secret spy who takes out people or corporations that are hurting the environment.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's a ship of people.
I'm fucking Captain Planet.
So there's this ship of people dumping radioactive material in the ocean, and he comes on board, snaps some pictures, hits some guys, and then jumps off the ship that's in the middle of the ocean.
Jason Statham, of course.
But he works for Wu Jing, who is the runner of this foundation to keep the ecosystem of the ocean clear and clean. But also part of it, his organization is to investigate the trench, the Mariana Trench, and I think he wants to learn about more of the creatures down there, right?
Yeah, so like
it's its own ecosystem down there.
Yeah, it's its own ecosystem.
So they actually, I guess they say that they found a megalodon as a baby.
Yeah.
In the past.
Oh, jeez.
So they have a big megalodon in this encapture.
Yeah.
And he's not scared of anything. He'll
Yeah.
put himself at risk and others, and then just laugh about it after.
This is Wu Jing's character.
Not the megalodon.
Not the I thought you were talking about the
no,
megalodon.
no.
I was like, wow, that's,
Sorry.
Like there's a scene where he.
it's like, so the
he's
megalodon
like-
has some depth, huh?
There's a scene where they see that he jumped in the tank with the megalodon, and they're saying, "Get out of there! What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. And then he's like, "No, I've raised this megalodon as a baby, and I've trained it." And he's got this clicker that, like, one click tells it to go one way.
Like the raptor in Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, this
little-
is totally
a little-
like a Hammond thing.
a
Right?
little
God.
bit, but all of a sudden it's you think it's not gonna
Come at him.
I mean, no, it is coming at him, but you think it's not going to work and he's going to get eaten. But
Yeah.
it actually listens and goes away
Oh,
and stuff. And but right soon after they're going on their adventure down into the trench.
Yeah, they want to research some hidden parts of the trench, and also the daughter character's back too, and
Yes.
she sneaks onto this mission.
Is that a different girl or was
No, same girl, just
She looked-
grown up.
Okay, she looks
It's
so
been
different.
5 years,
Yeah,
so.
I was like, wow.
Oh, okay.
Kids grow up fast.
But so while they're entering through the thermal portal down into the trench, the megalodon they have in capture, its eyes like roll over white and it escapes the enclosure and follows them down into the trench because it's mating season for megalodons.
Oh, no.
time to fuck.
Yeah. Megalodon 3, the fucking.
I can see it's megalodon.
And they don't do it in a clever way of the
No.
megalodon escaping, because we learn later like there's a villain who's working on the inside who could have opened it up and let it go, but no, there's this big opening with like these bars, and the megalodon is just like, okay, and then just rams through, and that's how he escapes.
it does like
Makes sense.
swim by, and it shows like it looking at the gate. It's like, all right, that's the gate, and then he like swims far away, and then he pretty much like runs at it and busts through. I was like, okay, it's that easy.
We didn't check the gate for ramming speeds. I guess
Oh, man.
But
So do you guys recommend it?
I mean, I would say it's a group
would.
watch.
Yeah.
Maybe you could be a little intoxicated for it, like drinking. I'm not saying you gotta drink for it, but
Is
it's
it like what, 2 hours, less than that?
a little
Just
under.
under.
Yeah, just
under. So not too bad then.
bad.
Yeah, I think the problem is when they get underwater, it takes up probably a third of the movie.
Yeah,
and
it gets slow down there.
we're walking. I mean, there's a lot of stupid stuff that happens, which is fun. Like, the villains are like under the surface and they're mining for these precious materials. And like when they see like Jason Statham and the other characters come in,
They just blow.
the leader who's like this. He's like a Hispanic mercenary dude.
He played the villain in the last Rambo movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Last
wow,
Blood.
okay,
Like
yeah.
they're mining the thing, and then it's like, we don't have time.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, don't blow it up. And then he just blows it up and kills them in this huge explosion.
And he endangers himself too because he had to like rewire his little sub
Yeah.
to get back.
But then we spend a lot of time of our main characters, just walking slowly under the water. It's very dark, very
He's
obscured.
like we forgot to mention they make these like mech.
There's exoskeleton
Yeah.
suits.
Oh.
They don't use them outside
Okay.
of walking.
No.
You got to be in. They're wearing exosuits
Yeah.
and they're fighting giant horny sharks. Come on.
suppose.
Also, there's these like raptor
Horny sharks and exosuits, man.
That's
That's
true, dude.
right up your alley.
That's true.
There's these like raptor like eel things with legs. I forget what they're called.
like prehistoric
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
cool.
dinosaur area.
They look
Different
pretty cool.
types of creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but
big-
they're slowly making their way. There's stuff that's happening, but it isn't super engaging. The villain, for some reason, chases after them into the enclosure.
Yeah.
again, more stupid stuff happens. Like
bad choices.
They're like 14,000 feet under the water.
Yeah.
And like they quickly, Jason Statham has to escape to let him out of this enclosed area that's 14,000 feet under the water. And they're like, no, you'll crush yourself. And then they do a quick explanation, like if you release the water, the fluids out of your body, then your body.
If he like inhales it through his nose. Like the pressurized of the water.
No,
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, I think
I don't think that's how it works.
Implode like a fucking submarine.
Yeah.
Well, no, but he's in a hatch and the water's coming up and he's just got to push the water through his nose and he'll be able to hold his breath while he swims.
So there's still oxygen in his lungs, though.
Yeah.
So his lungs would
like
collapse.
he lets the water. They say like he
swallows
lets the
some
water
water.
in, and that way his body doesn't decompress.
Does he know he can't breathe water?
Because he's like the fish down here. They're not worried about being
because they fucking breathe water.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't breathe.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
don't-
hold
you don't-
oxygen in their lungs that way.
But yeah, my problem is like for so long the movie.
Seriously, a writer wrote this and didn't go, I should probably look this up. I can
They don't
Google
care.
pressure.
You got giant megalodons. They're like,
But yeah, my
Sexy,
problem is
horny
like so much of the
megalodons.
movie is like we're explaining and it's funny, but it's just a little boring. But then once you finally get to the last 20 or so minutes, they get back up to the surface. Mm-hmm. 3 megalodons are loose. You have these dinosaur creatures, a giant octopus, and they're heading towards a place which they call Party Island.
No, it's Fun Island.
Oh, Fun Island. That's the name of the island, and it's a bunch of tourists having
Party
fun.
Island sounds better, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
That's in the sequel.
I'm just saying, but it turned into this quasi like crazy rich Asian / Jurassic Park / Jaws movie at the end there. With
so the dinosaur creatures get on the land, and they're
wait, and they don't explode because of the pressure of being up on land.
exactly.
no, they get up, they're fine
because they
They let the water in their nose, and
the villain has a lot of evil goons, and they're fighting the monsters.
Yeah.
The
they're all
sharks
horny
are
monsters. I hope.
the sharks are going around. The octopus is messing with the people. Jason Statham kind of goes on a side quest to take out the megalodons.
Yeah.
And it gets pretty crazy. You get a slow motion scene of him on a jet ski over a wave with a spear about the
explosive
stab of
spear.
a
Oh,
Explosive
of course, an explosive spear.
But some of those like he did a barrel roll in the air with the jet ski, and I was like, all right, that was kind of cool. It was like obviously it's fake, but I mean it was kind of cool.
The craziest part for me was when he grabbed it was like a helicopter blade.
Oh yeah,
on the surface.
No, he didn't.
It looks like he's
No, he
gonna
didn't.
pick it up and use it like Cloud's sword and swing it around.
Which would have been way cooler.
But he lifts it up and impales a megalodon that
the shark kind of jumps and then he like leans back with it.
Does he team up with the trained megalodon? Like, does he ride a megalodon into battle? Like, that's what I want to see.
He has a missed opportunity.
The train. I could let you talk some.
Well,
sorry,
no. You please keep going because you were about to.
Oh, the train megalodon, like they play it throughout the movie. Like, is he really listening to the billionaire guy or is he not? The megalodon does end up killing the octopus or squid creature. It's like 15 seconds, but there is a short battle.
It gets in the way of the megalodon.
They do a little King Kong Godzilla thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
And,
let them fight.
And then there is one last moment of the billionaire guy like clicking the button while the megalodon's coming after them, about to eat them, and then he does swim away.
So
then,
he's still out there.
Yeah, and the movie ends with them going on the beach having some beers. There's some ladies from the Fun Island who are hanging out with them, and then the megalodon is heading out into the ocean, and Jason Statham's like what about the dolphins? They're gonna get killed, and the billionaire's like, that's tomorrow's problem. We'll
save that
for the sequel. Well,
it's also a commentary on global warming.
I mean, sort of. But I will say,
Apex Predator out there.
One big positive of the movie for me was some of the comedy aspect of it with the character Paige. I mean, the actor's Paige Kennedy. He's the black character with he's got this like pretty much this go bag backpack of all these different items because it's like from last time I'm gonna be ready just in case this happens again, and like he has all these like
He's prepped.
Yeah, he's even got a Desert Eagle with poison tip
bullets.
God.
Yeah, in the last movie he couldn't swim, and in this movie he has the big gun.
Yeah. Well, no, he's like, I took swimming lessons. He's like all prepared.
He's been ready.
Yeah, he's been ready for this. And like when they're at Fun Island, he's pulling out all these items on the bag, and like he even puts a little mirror on the end of a stick to, like Saving Private Ryan type of checking around the corner thing. But there's one moment where he actually like has his moment, and he dives and shoots the last like dinosaur creature in the head with his gun. He's like, I told you.
He does a slow-mo
dive. Yeah, slow-mo dive.
Of course he does.
And I don't know. I thought his character paid off for me. That was just ridiculous and everything.
Megalodon 2. Check it out.
I wouldn't recommend it. Last 20 minutes are good if you want to watch it that way. But I know, Chad, you say you liked it. So.
It was entertaining enough. I probably wouldn't go out of my way to see it again. But if I was like over a friend's house and we were a group together watching it and just laughing at
drinking
it.
Drinking a beer and watching a movie.
Getting high.
Yeah. And I will say the credits of that movie was hilarious because Paige Kennedy, the black guy from the movie, he's a rapper as well, and he does the rap song.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the rap song's called Chomp, and I was dying because the lyrics was like, chomp, chomp, chomp.
Yeah. Is it as good as My Head is a Shark Fin by LL Cool J?
It's better.
No. Impossible.
Better.
Impossible to beat that track.
And I will say one good thing is like Jason Statham isn't outshined by this brand new character that does come into play. Okay. So that was good.
They didn't have him do many martial arts. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be on an equal level, but no, Jason Statham was still at the top.
He's like, hey, it's still my movie, all right? I'm going to do a backflip.
Speaking of other movies.
Kick a squid in the face.
We've got just other quick movies, just go over real quick. Blue Beetle, Gran Turismo, Craven, and Dune.
Yeah.
It looks like Gran Turismo, Craven, and Dune have been delayed.
Boo!
Do not.
Do not?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
We'll see.
And but definitely Gran Turismo and Craven have been, right?
Yeah, Craven's. It looks like we're gonna have another Morbius on our hand, where we're gonna see that trailer over and over. But it was delayed from. It was gonna come out this October. Now it's coming out August 2024.
Oh,
wow!
They want to build
have they said why?
Pitch.
Have they said why?
I think it's the writer's strike. They want the
Makes
actors to be able to promote it.
That makes sense.
I don't know.
Because it's done, right? It's all in the can.
Everything's finished.
Yeah, it's all finished. It looks like it's going to be another Morbius, but we'll see.
Has Gran Turismo been pushed back too?
Yeah, Gran Turismo is a weird one. I guess they're wanting to move it a little further away from Barbie, Oppenheimer, and some other new releases like Turtles and Meg that have come out.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it was going to come out on... What is it, the 11th? That's the Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's coming out on the 24th. But what they're doing is there's going to be like 9 days where they have an early access screening. And I haven't seen this before where it was that many days of early access screenings. Mm-hmm. So what it's going to do is when the movie does come out, those early access screenings are going to count as its opening weekend. So they're going to make the opening weekend look really big.
I noticed that with a lot of movies nowadays where it's like... It's
Mission Impossible did that.
Yeah, a 5-day opening weekend, you know, or something like that. And you're like, well, okay, so it sounds like you made a lot of money, but over the course of 5 days...
Well,
it's my birthday week.
Yeah.
Well, for the ones that come out on Wednesday, like Mission Impossible and Turtles, the Wednesday and Thursday, I don't believe, or Tuesday aren't counted as the opening weekend.
Okay.
We do normally see movies that do have like early access, like 1 day earlier.
Yeah.
But what makes this one weird is that like pretty much each weekend beforehand, like this weekend, next weekend, some other days, there's going to be early access screenings. So if you want to see the movie, it might still be playing. It
might really hurt them in the end for their final box office, right? Like for their opening weekend, it's going to...
Yeah. What we'll probably see is the second weekend, it's going to be a huge drop from that inflated number. But I guess they're hoping that word of mouth spreads and that way the movie does better. Yeah. But at the moment, I haven't seen great reviews. I'm hoping it's decent.
I'm excited for it because it's a Neil Blomkamp movie. Yeah. I love him as a director. I think he's a very talented director and a visionary. So I'm excited to see what he does with this material where he's not leaning into the sci-fi stuff. This is more of a straight story. But I also love a good car movie. I love, Ford versus Ferrari was great, and
we haven't had a good like racing movie in a long time.
Yeah.
No, it was for a time for a while there. We had but
that was still like
that was more of
2018.
Yeah. It's been a while. Yeah. I mean, because there was a time, especially in the 80s and 90s, we were having a lot of car racing movies.
Yeah, like Days of Thunder.
That's probably what started a large percentage of it was Days of Thunder, and then the early part of Fast and the Furious was about racing cars. It was actually
about street racing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So until it turned into whatever it is now.
Now they go to space.
And one unique thing is that the person the movie is based on, he's doing the stunt driving for the character in the film.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I've seen interviews with him too, and just like it's an interesting story.
Is that really how they recruited GTA drivers?
Yeah, it was
Gran Turismo,
like later 2000s.
Yeah,
I think around Gran Turismo 5.
And the main actor who's playing the kid, I like that he's not as well known, but if you have been watching a lot like certain TV and movie here and there, you might have seen him. He was one of the extra people in Midsummer. He was like the couple. Okay. He was the boyfriend in that. And then also on Apple TV, he was a part of the series C, like SEE, the Jason Momoa.
Right.
And it was really good.
That show didn't exist. That was not a real show.
It's a good show.
I've seen ads. I don't know anyone.
I don't know anybody's seen it.
I saw it. I watched
all 3 seasons.
Jason Momoa is like that.
I saw C.
All 3.
I saw C.
All 3 seasons.
I saw C. All three seasons.
Do you see 3 Cs?
Yes.
You saw all 3 seasons.
Yeah, it was good. Wow. It was good. And
you're the only person I know that's ever watched it.
Batista made a appearance in there. Yeah.
I don't know anybody who's watched that show.
Dude, it's good.
So it's you and 5 other people.
Yeah.
That's all you need for Apple TV to make a successful show.
They don't care. They got $1 trillion.
We'll make 5 seasons. We don't
Oh wait, no one's watching this. Let's put out a new iPhone.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
And we made our profit back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say though, as someone who goes to the theaters very often, there's normally like the 1 or 2 movies that you see the trailer for every single time.
Yeah.
And right now, that is Gran Turismo and Strays that I'm seeing every single time.
Yeah,
Strays. I haven't seen Strays in a while. That didn't pop up for me.
It's getting a big push right now.
I watched an indie film like... what was that, yesterday or 2 days ago? All the trailers were indies, but then that Strays popped up. And I'm like, oh, no.
Strays looks interesting. Yeah. Another Joe Rogan film, right?
Joe Rogan.
Rogan. What am I saying?
No. It's like Seth Rogen.
That's it. Seth Rogen, yeah.
Is it a Seth Rogen movie?
Yeah, I think it is, isn't
it? Will Ferrell is the
Will
main
Ferrell
voice.
and Jamie Foxx are the voices.
I thought Seth Rogen was involved in that.
I would like to see Joe Rogan's interpretation of Strays.
Okay.
I just started eating this
jerky. They're not eating enough elk meat. That's what's the problem.
That's the problem. It's because we're podcasting. That's why. And one day we'll be on his level.
All the dogs get into a bottle of Alpha Brain, and then they start, we can talk and sing and dance.
And they start doing MMA.
Jamie, bring that up. Bring up the Strays, would you?
Bring it up.
Bring it up.
And then Blue Beetle, I don't know how that's going to do.
We
talked about it last podcast.
I hope it does well, man. I really want to push for this movie. I want everyone to go see it.
I'm going to go see it. It's first,
gotta represent Latinos.
First Latino superhero, so I'm going to go see it. I'm Latino myself.
You know what? I will say that I think this is a character they might have needed to have had a cameo in a previous movie.
Yes.
And if he stole that scene that he was in, people would be more excited to see this movie.
But the universe so far it's such a sloppy mess.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean poor Gal Gadot. I feel so bad. She came out recently cuz she was doing press for Heart of Stone, the movie that she's got on Netflix. Yeah. And she was like, "Oh yeah, no, James Gunn, and we're in talks about doing a Wonder Woman 3." And literally a week later, James Gunn was like, "No, that's true."
Yeah.
So it's like they have no clue what's going on. Basically, it feels like they're just kind of like it's scattershot. We're just putting stuff out there. But yeah, it would have been nice if they had, and maybe there would have been a cameo in Batgirl. We have no idea. It could have all fit because both Batgirl and Blue Beetle was supposed to go straight to HBO Max originally. It was supposed to be a Max movie.
Right.
And then they saw it and were like, actually, it's good enough to be put on the big screen.
I think at least in Blue Beetle's case, the switch to theatrical happened before production began.
Okay.
So it was made for theatrical when it did get filmed.
Nice.
Which is probably why it was filmed entirely with IMAX certified cameras.
Oh, good to know. But I'm excited for it.
Me too, man. I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah, I think I don't think it has a lot of other competition that week, right? So
doesn't seem like it.
Not much.
It's
currently tracking the open with 30 million for its weekend, which is decent.
Yeah,
so it could pass Shazam. And if it has good legs, it might pass The Flash because of how terrible
would be
legs
amazing.
are.
No pun intended.
How crazy?
I mean, it's got a $120
million
million budget. That's not much.
Though I do feel like
it's on the lower end
it's going to be domestic dependent. I don't know if it's going to do that big
internationally
outside of Latin America and maybe Europe.
It's got like Iron Man mech tech energy, so I feel like it might do well in like Japan, do places like that.
I will say it has the potential to draw in a bigger crowd only because the lead is from the Karate Kid show, the Cobra Kai.
Yeah, he's great.
And that show, is what did so well that so there might be a great audience for it. So who knows? But I mean, it all depends if those people go to the theater instead of watching it at home.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I'm gonna go see it. I wish it the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks a little generic to me, but I'm hoping it's good.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah,
I'm sure it will be.
I hope to be surprised.
Before we go, guys, I really want to touch on two shows that we talked about last time. Well, specifically one, Invincible. I just binged the first season.
Oh, that's right.
So good, man. It was so good. Have you watched it?
More of a movie guy. I haven't watched much TV.
It's based on a comic book series, and it's you guys were talking about the last episode, which was which I was like, holy shit. Which is, I mean, I saw it coming. It's this. I didn't figure he was like a good guy, quote unquote, Omni-Man. I didn't figure he was like this like virtuous character that they were making him out to be. I was like, there's got to be something else to this.
Right.
Obviously, when he attacked his team at the beginning, that's like, okay, this guy's not what he seems, but I don't know what his angle is. As it turns out, he's kind of a scout for an advanced alien invasion.
Oh yeah.
So
the best part was it the third or fourth episode where he goes to the other world and destroys them.
That's so good.
He's
Holy shit!
He's like, this is not your world to conquer.
And at first, it seems like, he's just defending Earth, but it's like, no, it's not yours to conquer; it's ours to conquer. Exactly. Which is so good.
It's
and
so
that model was, I mean, that scene was what? 10 seconds, 15.
Yeah.
And it explains so much. It was so well good. That
and when he shows back up and he's just like, he looks older and
because he's in a different dimension that moves faster. It was, so well done.
Destroyed a whole planet.
And I thought that they were done. I thought that species was done, but then towards the end of the series, you see them again kind of plotting to return. Yeah. So it seems like all these different groups are like kind of ganging up against him to see what happens. So I'm really excited for the second season. It comes out, you said next week?
No, in November.
November, okay.
They do have a one-shot special out right now.
Yeah, I still have to watch.
I saw it on my queue. I haven't watched it.
Adam Eve. Like, it's kind of like her origin story. It's like a 55-minute episode.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of cool, like, to have that just to kind of whet the appetite until November.
And I thought it was great that he's ironically named Invincible, but he gets his ass whooped a lot.
And I'm sure you noticed that each time they showed the title and his name, more blood.
I saw it too. Yeah,
just to show you how bloody the episode will get.
Yeah. Well, the first time they did that, because they don't say his name, it's maybe one day we'll work with, and then it's the title card.
Invincible.
Yeah. I thought it was
a great bit.
I thought there was something, because the first time I watched it, I thought there was something. I was like, did it skip something?
Oh, no.
Was that happening? Yeah, but then I realized it was. I love the show. It was really well done.
Great voice cast.
Great voice cast, dude. Holy shit. Yeah. I always also thought like Omni-Man was this very because his species lives thousands of years.
Yeah.
And so I thought he was what he said about his because this entire show you're watching him with his wife, and he's like, it's a very loving relationship. He loves his wife, he loves his kid, and at some point when him and his son are fighting, he admits, "It's like, I love your mother, but she's more like a pet."
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit,
because to him, she'll be dead.
Like it's 50 years is like nothing. It's like a blip to them. So
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I will say the voice acting is great, but the one problem I had was just Seth Rogen, because it just takes me out of it, because he didn't do anything to his voice. It was just Seth Rogen for that character from space.
The Neil
Neil.
Yeah, I mean, every time you hear his voice, it's like, it's Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
it's like, and he plays Seth Rogen and everything.
He's not a voice actor per se,
no,
so.
But he's done enough animation now that he.
He's involved in Invincible, right? Yeah.
He's a producer.
Yeah, he's a producer with the boys as well.
Right.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. I do wish he would change up his voice a bit.
There's that great joke in the Rescue Rangers movie where they do like an anime con, and it's all the voice characters all done by Seth Rogen. They're all hanging out together and just laughing, and they're all the same voice.
That's hilarious.
Also, just before we go, I just wanted to talk about FX's The Bear.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched that?
So good.
I still have to do the second season, but I've
I'm not going to spoil anything, but I mean, I've finished both seasons, and it's just one of the best shows I've ever seen in my entire life. It's The Bear's about a Michelin star chef who takes over his brother's shitty little deli, the little sandwich shop. And his brother committed suicide, but he's this world class chef who's takes over this like motley crew of cooks and this kind of failing restaurant. It's doing okay, but it's really run down. It's just your deli, your standard deli
and
sandwich
he's trying to
shop.
run it
like a Michelin star restaurant, and eventually they turn it into a better restaurant than what it is. And so but the great thing is like the show isn't about like necessarily about the food and this is not really necessarily about the restaurant. It's about the characters that work at this place. Yeah. And every single character is just so well fleshed out, and they act and talk and do things like real people, and it's such a touching
and the
show.
girl from The Bear is the voice of April O'Neil.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
She does such a great job.
Such a great job. And even characters that you think like, oh, it's just some background character. It's probably not going to be that important. They get a character arc, and it's a touching one that is really touching and moving. It's such a great show.
Yeah.
I
Even
highly
the
recommend
brother
it.
who's kind of a dick is like good.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's just I can't recommend it enough. It's very rarely I think do we get perfect shows, but I think The Bear is a perfect show, and it's just solid writing, directing, and acting, and even the editing, how they shoot everything. It's so good. Yeah, so I recommend it. Anyway, that's those are.
I do love. I mean, FX takes some chances with shows,
big time. That's
I
what
I dig about it. You know, like they're like, we'll do. You know, what is Sonny's in like season 17? 17?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really up there. Yeah.
But still, you know, pulls no punches and still, you know, it's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I've got as far as that. Anybody else want to talk about anything else, guys?
Well, we got to reach the 3-hour mark. So
how long are we doing?
We're at 2:15 now.
Oh,
so,
shoot.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, if you guys, anybody anything else?
I heard this really awesome podcast the other day called the LAX Files.
Oh yeah.
You know anything about this?
I do. Thank you very much. I wasn't going to talk about it, but thank you. Appreciate it.
It's that big pile of money you're giving me now? Oh, great.
Oh, wow. You can find it on where? Spotify?
On Spotify. Yes. This little platform called Spotify. It's a struggling startup. No, thank you, Watson. I appreciate that. I wasn't going to plug it, but LAX Files is out there if you'd like to check it out. LAX Files is my podcast about Los Angeles itself, my hometown where I was born and raised, and it's about Los Angeles, the events, the people, places, organizations, the history that makes LA what it is nowadays. And I speak to people who are involved in those subjects. I've spoken to 2 museum curators so far. One is the Italian American Museum in downtown LA, IMLA, and the other is at the USS Iowa, which is a decommissioned battleship that fought in World War II in Korea. And they're both. It's a museum ship now, and I spoke to the curator of that museum and the trials and tribulations of getting the ship up and the history of the ship. I spoke to Armin Shimmerman recently. He came here to my house, which was amazing because I was a Deep Space Nine fan. I've been a Deep Space Nine fan since I was in middle school, really.
He thought it was weird you were in full Klingon makeup.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Did he give him pizza too?
I had some fruit laid out. He had some of that, so I was like, oh, Armin Shimmerman had some of the stuff I laid out.
He eBayed the rest of it. Like Shimmerman touched this.
But he came here to my house, which was amazing, and we talked about his career. Let me put this disclaimer out. He talked about this prior to the strike.
Yes.
That the SAG and WGA strike that's going on now. We recorded this back in May, and I actually reached out to him, said, "Is it okay if I've been waiting. I've been sitting on this interview because I want to put more. I want to gather more interviews." And he said, "Yeah, it's fine." And I said, "I'll just put a disclaimer out saying that we interviewed it prior to the strike." He said, "That's fine." So that's a disclaimer that's on the podcast now. And we just talked about his career. His time on Deep Space Nine, his time on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's a huge stage actor. Watson, I know you said you worked with him before.
Yeah, a few different theaters. Yeah, he's great.
He loves the theater. It's his first love, he said, and he's a great guy. And so we had a good long conversation about that. And he actually, I told him about a clip that's on YouTube that had his character Quark. It's got over 1 million views. It's one of the most watched Deep Space Nine clips on YouTube. I think it's the most watched Deep Space Nine clip on YouTube. And he didn't know about that, so he watched it in my living room, watching this scene that he had with another actor who's playing a Vulcan. He sat here in my living room watching himself on my TV, and I was like, I can't believe I'm watching. Armin Sherman is in my living room watching himself on Deep Space Nine.
It's like the third level of Inception.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I got Armin Sherman watching himself and watching him.
My 14-year-old self was just going crazy. I can't believe this. Yeah. You know.
Did you take a picture of him?
I did. Yeah, nice. I did. And and then so. Those are
drank some blood wine and
I've got another actor from Star Trek on, but he asked me to hold his interview because of the strike, so I'm going to hold that until after that's over, honoring his wishes. And then I've got another interview with I won't say who it is, but it's a Hollywood family, entertainment family, and he grew up in it, so I'll post that out.
The Crayolas, once that's right?
Done. Yes, exactly. But yes, if you're interested, please check it out. LAX Files on Spotify. It's just me interviewing people, and it's just a one-on-one conversation. So yeah, thanks, Watson, for plugging that for me.
Yeah, I'll be a shameful shill. I don't care. Chad, you got anything to plug?
Nope. None whatsoever.
Justin, you got your Letterboxd account?
Tell us again tell us again where we can find you for your
Justin
reviews.
_time_ on Letterboxd.
Wow, you memorized that?
I don't. Yeah, it's all locked in, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah, that is correct. I started reviewing films this month, August. So my first was Haunted Mansion. I will say at the moment, how I'm rating things is the middle is average. So 2.5 stars out of 5 is average. Mm-hmm. I know that seems low, so I'm debating about moving it to 3. But I've seen over almost 100 films in theaters this year so far.
Wow. This year.
Yes.
I don't even know there was 100 movies out this year.
Seriously, me neither.
So
how many of them had horny sharks in them?
What's been your favorite so far?
Sorry. Favorite. I didn't come prepared.
Off
the top of my head, I like the Irish Girl. It was technically a movie from last year, but I saw it in February. Very small film about a little girl who learns what a loving family's like.
Nice.
But there's also been some other cool ones.
Before she
I saw
him.
Extraction 2 in a theater. I know it's a Netflix movie.
No,
I'm very dedicated.
We love the Extraction series.
Extraction 2 is great, yeah.
Not that many horny sharks, but it's okay.
So yeah, if you want to check out reviews, you could check me out on there. And I'm thinking maybe after I perfect my reviews a bit more, I'll try out some video content.
What made you want to pick the 5-star rating instead of the 10 going?
Letterboxd is just the 5-star rating.
Oh, that's all.
But I did want to stray from the out of 10 rating and letter grades just because I feel like with out of 10, anything like below a 7's considered like bad. So I like the idea of having a mid-range, so the middle being average, and then going below average and above average from either direction there, as I feel like then the scoring system is more well utilized.
Well, I'm going to say having you on as a guest has been an 8.5.
I would agree.
Way above average.
I would say 9.8.
Yeah, okay. Let's not go crazy, okay?
Yeah.
But
you're setting the bar way too high for
9.7.
Before we go, I want to quickly ask Justin, what's the first movie you ever saw?
Oh my! In a theater or
however you want to answer that.
I know.
Yeah, let's go with the theater.
Okay, I don't remember it, but I saw. Frick! What was that Matt Damon horse movie? Spirit.
All the pretty horses.
Oh no,
Spirit. The DreamWorks.
Oh, where he is a horse, yeah.
Oh, the animated movie.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know, we're all
But apparently, I started crying like 15 minutes in, so my dad took me back home. But
into Crime Alley.
That was my first movie as a little child or baby. I don't know what year it was.
Okay.
He was like, the cinematography's terrible.
but he gave it 3
What's up with his editing?
But I love Jurassic Park as a kid, so that's probably the one I remember the most in my childhood. Watched that on Laserdisc multiple times. I remember having
some bona fides right there.
I had to flip the disc when Samuel L. Jackson was noticed that there was something going on with the T-Rex, and it was before the T-Rex scene. I love it. So it's engraved in my brain.
He made cigarettes look so good in that movie.
He does. Yeah. He makes everything look good.
He does.
Well,
he does. By the way, Spirit was 2002.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would have been
old.
3. Yeah, so I was a bit.
We are old men.
I was really young, so that's why I couldn't handle it.
Well, that makes sense.
I was already in college.
It was
I'm old.
I was in my second year in the Army.
I was in high school.
There you go.
Doing all the cool stuff.
The Peter Falk impression really got the girls hot.
No, that's not Peter Falk. That was more. That was leading into a Gilbert. Like,
it was more the Gilbert.
Something
right.
that's been another episode of Enter the Nerdom, and you know where to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment all the things that come to your little puny mind. And as we always say here at Enter the Nerdom, enter the Nerdom, exit the turtle cave power that is covered in sewage and spit and saliva
and goo
and the poop and the...
And the goo.
And the goo.
Ooze.
And the ooze. Ooh, that ooze. And thank you for making it to the end of another episode.
Thanks, Gilbert.
Yep.